Hello, Dave. Today is Saturday, May the 14th, 2022. I am the Bro 9000 and I trust you are all functioning very well today. Hello, everybody. I am Mr. Brown and welcome to the show. Today we have a very special live stream for you. We will be discussing the action movie, the magnificent action movie, The Predator. And we have some very special guests to boot. So I think we shall start as we mean to go on. And shall we get the guests out? I think we should. First up, she is the princess of Xanadu, but she is the queen of this channel. It is Renier.
Hello.
Are you well?
How are you this fine afternoon or evening for you? I'm doing as best as I can.
I think I'm the most nervous I've ever been for a live stream.
Really?
Yeah.
I really had a lot of fun. So I rewatched this movie this afternoon with the significant other, and he and I just really enjoyed watching it together. I hadn't seen it since I was a kid, so yeah, it was really awesome, and it's more fun to watch it with someone you love. So
are you a big Arnold fan like me?
Yes, action movies, in general, but yes, I do like Schwarzenegger. Stallone is my favorite. I'm a little partial because I'm part Italian, but yeah.
So you're looking forward to this, yes?
Oh yeah.
And you know what my next question is?
Should we get the next guest out?
I think we should. Next up, he's one of the best radio presenters in the business. It is Retro Awful himself. Trev is here, everybody.
Hello. Only from 9 more shows and then I retire.
Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Trev, can you hear
Hello?
me?
Oh, no.
Hello?
Hello?
Brown, who's talking?
Yes, okay. I can hear you. I can hear you, Clem Fandango.
How are you, Trev?
Your bloody made-up name. Yes.
How are you doing? You good, yes?
I'm all right, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm not bad. As I said to Rennie, I'm nervous, but we'll settle down. We'll settle down. We'll get into it.
Why don't you have a stiff Pims?
There is a drinking game, by the way, boys and girls.
Right, okay. Do explain.
Anytime there's any kind of testosterone or macho stuff, just swig one down.
Oh man, everybody's going to get drunk.
I think it'll be about 5 minutes in, we'll be just comatose, all of us. So,
well, it sure beats the Eurovision anyway.
It does. It does. Ukraine will be the winners. So you're well, Trev?
Yeah, not too bad at all. Hello, Rennie. Hope you're well as well.
Doing well, Trev. Hope you're doing all right.
Yeah, not too bad.
You know what my next question is, don't you, Trev? So
go on anyway. Go on.
Okay. Let's go. Okay, so sometimes in life, you just have to slum it with the peasants. It's the posh boy himself. It's Lost Chord.
Hello there.
Hello there. How are you?
I'm good, although I just have to say at the outset, that drinking game idea is bollocks because we're watching Predator and it's macho all the way through and my catheter is in a different room, so I can't inject this constantly into my veins. But I do have a bottle of Johnny Walker Black Label next to me, Breakfast of Champions. So I'm ready to at least go somewhere toward doing this.
I don't even think the critical drinker would have IV drink on tap with this one, do you? But
we can ask it.
It's funny you should mention that because, funnily enough, I'm within reaching distance of a bottle of Johnny Walker Black. Do you fancy making an evening of it?
That sounds like a plan. I can go all night, evening, night.
We've
heard
that rumor, yes.
From the ambassador himself.
Yes.
I think I'm going to stick with water for today.
Yeah, I think you should do, Rennie. Yes.
Yeah, that's all we're going to say on that.
Yeah. So, Lord, you're good.
I'm good. Thank you very much.
And you know what my next question is, don't you?
Shall we get to the chopper?
Yes, get to the chopper.
Who's
okay.
Chopper?
Yes, he is the wise elder of the channel and a genuine film director. It's the great mega geek himself, Ian David Diaz. Hello.
Oh, sorry. Hello. Hi. How are you doing? All right? How you guys doing? Sorry.
In your own time.
Almost every time, Ian. It's so
I
funny.
think he does it on purpose, doesn't he? Yeah.
No, I don't.
You little.
It's like, oh, me?
I'm trying to do two things at the same
No,
time.
don't
As always.
multitask,
It's
mate.
stupid.
Yeah,
Yeah,
same here. I'm trying to multitask. You well, my friend?
I'm okay. Yeah, I'm all right. I'm looking forward to this film. I actually watched it today, just like Rennie, and
get in.
really surprised that it still holds up today. You know, it's
Yeah.
a really good movie. So yeah.
I've seen it twice. It took me 2 days to do the slides. I did the slides once and then realised, they actually work better with subtitles because of all the magnificent one-liners.
Also, the one thing I
do them all
noticed
again.
about this film is he doesn't say "get to the job." He actually screams it, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He actually screams
does.
it.
I like laughed so hard because
Yeah.
like I had so many pictures of my mind of how he said it because it
Yeah,
had
same
been
here.
forever.
Yeah,
And then I'm like,
yeah.
oh my God, this is crazy.
Yeah. It's been a long time since I've seen this film. So you well, Ian, yes?
Yeah, fine.
You know what my next question is, don't you?
Yep. Let's get the drinker out. That's what it is.
And last but by no means least, I will just say this. On this channel, we believe in helping the up-and-coming YouTubers. Let's give our support to the Critical Drinker.
Hey guys, thanks for having me on. It's always nice when you give me a little bit of support for little channels like mine.
How is the channel going, my friend? It seems to be up and coming, as I said. It's doing well.
I'm struggling on, man.
He's struggling. Yeah. He needs more subs.
Extra. I know. try and get a couple extra subscribers out of this movie. Who knows?
I will say the last time you was on, Will, December, practically 6 months ago, you just passed the 1 million.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, and I think you're at 1.25 now, aren't you?
Thereabouts, yeah. I think round about that.
Bloody hell.
Wow.
That's all I can say.
Yeah, wow. It's going okay, I suppose.
Yeah.
Do you think there's a bit of a kind of a bit of a snowball effect after you got the 1 million?
I think so. Yeah, maybe like when people see the channel and they've got that big 1M next to it. Maybe it gets a little bit more promotion or it gets a bit more attention. I don't know, but I try not to get too hung up on it. I just want to make videos really best I can.
Live streams going well. They seem to be, as you've got a couple of the mods from your channel.
No, you got some really big people on your channel.
Yeah,
man.
On Wednesday, there was
that guy from Alien on it. I was like,
Drake, brilliant.
That was great.
He's good.
And Flash Gordon.
Yeah. Honestly, a childhood dream right there. Speaking to Flash Gordon himself.
Cool. Yeah.
I take it you're going to be trying to do the big names from now on. Wednesdays with Drake was fantastic.
Yeah, that was great. Great guy to talk to. Obviously, just had this really eventful career, and the guy was just super nice. And it's weird because it's like having played like a character like Boggs in Shawshank Redemption, you almost expect him to be super sinister when he's talking to you. But no, he was just really chill guy.
Yeah, he's been in a lot of stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay then. So very welcome. Well, welcome to the show, my friend. It's a genuine pleasure to have you here. Thank you.
I'm happy to join in. I'm always happy to talk Predator.
Okay, so I think this one's long overdue, to be honest. Volume 151, Schwarzenegger Predator film discussion with the Critical Drinker. That's you. Mr. Brown Alliance, please
smallest
like, share,
font
subscribe in the smallest possible font I could find.
I can read that today because I bought a magnifying glass especially for this.
I'm sure some people are watching this on 50-inch or even bigger TVs. So please consider donating the channel. Links in the description, pin message, blah, blah, blah. You know the usual drill. So on 10 minutes, who would like to see a trailer? Anybody?
Go on.
I think we should. Here we go.
We are a rescue team, not assassins. Now, what do we gotta do?
In a part of the world where there are no rules.
We pick up their trail at the chopper, run them down, grab those hostages before anybody knows we were there. What do you mean we?
Deep in the jungle, where nothing that lives is safe.
You lose it here, you're in a world of hurt. Showtime, kid. Knock, knock.
An elite rescue squad
You're bleeding, man. I ain't got time to bleed.
is being led by the ultimate warrior.
We need the best. That's why you're here.
But now,
What's got Billy so spooked?
there's something out there waiting for us. And it ain't no man. They're up against the ultimate enemy.
Holy Mother of God.
Nothing like it has ever been on Earth before.
She says the jungle just came alive and took him.
We cannot see it,
No blood, no bodies. We hit nothing.
but it sees the heat of our bodies and the heat of our fear.
Whatever it is out there, it killed Hopper. And now it wants us.
It kills for pleasure.
He was skinned alive!
It hunts for sport.
He's killing us one at a time. We're all gonna die.
But this time, it's picked the wrong man to hunt.
If it bleeds, we can kill it.
Century Fox presents Arnold Schwarzenegger. Predator. The hunt begins Friday, June 12th at theaters everywhere.
I just love
Damn, man, that trailer gives away the entire movie.
Yeah.
I just love the sound effects when one of the guys gets killed. He goes, "Ugh!"
Yeah, that's like totally not what he does in the movie. He lets out this horrible blood curdling scream.
Ugh.
Oh,
But
yeah.
as we keep reminding people, because we've seen loads of other trailers as well, old trailers. Remember, in those days there weren't such things as the internet, so they literally showed you the whole film in trailers. Because we saw the Spy Love Me one, we saw the Star Wars one, because people are just going to see it with the film they're watching, and then when they come out to cinema, they're going to forget about it. Do you know what I mean? They're going to get excited, but going to forget about the clips they've been shown. So it was a very different animal. What is it? Trailers were in those days. It's very different.
I miss trailer voices as well, like that big gravelly voice telling you exactly what you're seeing.
Oh yeah, that used to be so awesome.
Trevor, as a radio presenter, are you up with the voiceovers, with the movie voiceovers?
Yeah, in a world where Arnold Schwarzenegger's in another movie from the 80s. You mean one of those type things?
It's a good trailer though. I thought it was quite
It is.
good.
It's really good. It's a
Drinker?
shame they don't make trailers like that anymore.
Yeah, Drinker, do you think it's a good trailer?
I mean, comparing it to modern trailers, it's a tough one because, like I say, it gives away the entire film essentially. That even tells you who's going to die.
In
so,
what order?
Yeah, exactly. But in terms of building the mood and stuff, I think it does it pretty effectively. And for the standards of the time for a 1980s trailer, yeah, I think it's pretty good. It would make me want to watch it anyway.
I was going to say, would you go to the theatre to watch it?
Yeah, I would.
Definitely me as well.
Shall we? I'll just do a little bit of blurb and then we'll kind of get into the discussion. There is a lot of slides, but as long as we go steady, because there's so many different scenes, it's just impossible to kind of cut them out. So,
should I have bought 2 bottles of Johnny Walker as opposed to
3?
You can always show mine.
But as long as we go steady, we'll crack it. Don't worry. Okay, so Predator, 1987. A couple of taglines for you. If it bleeds, we can kill it, or soon the hunt will begin. Certificate 18, duration 1 hour 47. Internet Movie Database rating was 7.8, 400,000 votes. Director John McTieran, writers Jim and John Thomas, produced by John Davis, Lawrence Gordon, Joel Silver. There's an 80s combo, isn't there? Executive producers Jim Thomas, Lawrence Pereira, I think. Music by the great Alan Silvestri. Again, creature designed by the magnificent Stan Winston. Starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, Dutch, Carl Weathers, Dylan.
Dylan. Come on.
Mad as
Man, let's do this.
Looking too many pencils.
When we do the slides, you'll see why I did them with the subtitles, because it just enhances the experience.
Mr. Brown.
Yes.
What is all this fucking Thai business?
Indeed. Kevin Peter Hall, the Predator, El Padilla, Carrillo, Anna, Bill Duke, Mac, Jesse Ventura, Blaine. I love Jesse Ventura in this. Sonny Landham, Billy, Richard Chavez, Poncho, R.G. Armstrong, General Phillips, Shane Black, Hawkins, and uncredited, I did not know this, Peter Cullen as the voice of the Predator.
Oh.
Budget, $15 million. Gross.
That is bonkers. That you could. I mean, I know obviously in today's money that's more like 50 million, but
yeah,
damn.
Gross worldwide. This did surprise me actually. $98,268,000. I thought it would have made more than that.
That was big money back in the day, though.
It was.
Yeah, movies didn't make that much back then.
Yeah, it's Arnie he was riding, wasn't he? He was riding the wave, so people
this
went to see
kind of
Arnie.
peak Arnie. So the synopsis: a team of special force ops led by a tough but fair soldier, Major Dutch Schaefer, are ordered to assist CIA man Colonel Al Dillon on a rescue mission for potential survivors of a downed helicopter over a remote South African jungle. Not long after they land, Dutch and his team discover that they have been sent under false pretenses. Okay, so who would like to start first then? So we'll do it in order on screen. So Lord, your initial thoughts, feelings about Predator?
Predator is one of these films that I do not remember not having in my life, because my dad's a big fan of Predator. And so I think I must have first seen it when I was about 5 years old. And it's always been one of those that you can reliably go back to, and it will always be fun and engaging. It's not, I mean, I think you can say that it's simple in one sense. It doesn't think of itself as anything more than it actually is. But given how much it accomplishes that isn't accomplished in many modern films, I don't think it's right to say that it's sort of just good, cheap, simple fun, because it does some things really quite well from sort of a writing and technical point of view. But it's just generally great fun. The score is amazing. I mean, it's Arnie sort of at peak Arnie phase, which is just enjoyable. And I don't know that there are many other films which can condense so many amazingly corny but brilliant lines into a single run.
It's just so good.
So great fun, good fun film.
Rennie?
Yeah. Like I was saying earlier, today is the first time I've seen it in years, since I was a kid, actually. And I forgot how good it really was with all the, classic 80s machismo and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Just some really good action. And yeah, I mean, what more could you ask for with a film with like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Carl Weathers? Like, awesome. I just absolutely enjoyed it. I forgot how great it was, and feel kind of bad that I haven't seen it in such a long time.
Yeah, same here. I've not seen it in a long time, and as I said, I've watched it twice, and it's fantastic. I think it's a lot tighter than I actually remember. So
yeah, I just couldn't believe that I enjoyed it so much. I'm like, why haven't I had this in my life more often? So yeah, it was great.
As a side note, as well, having said it condenses so many brilliant lines into it. It gave the United States 2 governors and 1 almost governor in Schwarzenegger, Ventura, and Sonny Landham also ran. Yes. Every single one of them ran as either Republican or Reform Party or vaguely conservative, which means there are more conservative-leaning actors in Predator alone than in the entirety of Hollywood today, which is another
That's interesting. Well, I didn't even recognize Jesse Ventura at first, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Yeah, and I was a huge WWF fan when I was a kid, so I can't believe I didn't recognize him.
Young Trevor, thoughts?
Hello. It's the
Hello.
epitome of 80s action movies. You know, it's a winning combination. It's got muscles, it's got firearms, it's got an alien, it's got everything you could possibly want in a great action flick where you can just leave your brain at the door and just forget about things for 107 minutes and just enjoy the film. You know, there's no politics in there. There's no hidden meanings or messages. It's not woke. It's very far from it. It's just a great piece of cinema.
It is, mate. It is. Ian?
Yeah, I saw it when I was young, and like the geek I was, because there was no such thing as internet, I looked up everything. I brought all the books and read a lot about it and stuff. And as a filmmaker, I just love the beginning. The beginning reminds me a bit of The Thing because it has the shot of the Earth and,
Oh, yes.
and the thing. But I love the beginning. I love the scene where you see the ship and then it jettisons something and it goes into the Earth. And then I love the scene when a helicopter lands and the music and them in silhouette when they come
really
out the
good.
helicopter throwing their bags and the thing. It's just and the last person to come out is Arnie smoking a big cigar sitting there with sunglasses like looking really cool and stuff like that. I love all that stuff.
And that's the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, I just thought it was as a kid you just like, wow, this is just incredible. And there's a couple of things that I didn't realize as well when I was watching it today. Arnie's running around, right, with a shirt on in the beginning when they go into the jungle with 2 hand grenades stuck to him in the front. Isn't that dangerous?
Yeah.
Get caught
but
on
it's
some tree or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would just shrug it off though if it blew up.
Yeah.
The power of his pecs would absorb it.
But I just thought, I mean, this movie is such a lot of fun.
It is. It's
I mean, I know loads of stuff about this film, like the back of my hand. So, you know, while we're going through it, I'll give you some facts about it, unless somebody else knows more than me. But I loved it. Sorry, I'll stop there.
Drinker, thoughts?
I absolutely love it. I think it's a fantastic movie. It's one of those absolute definitive 1980s action flicks that you just can't not enjoy. I think it actually does some pretty smart things in terms of the structure of it and the writing, which I've talked about before, but I guess I could say it again here. You know, as with most movies, you've got your standard like 3-act dramatic structure, but this 3-act structure kind of breaks it up into 3 different movies altogether. Like it starts out as just your standard big beefy action flick, you know, with a bit of espionage. They're sent on this mission under dubious circumstances. They got a guy on their team they can't quite trust. There's the big blowout action set piece. So all that stuff that you would expect in a film like this. It's even got the one-liners and the, you know, the jokes and all that stuff. Then it transitions into a kind of horror slasher movie as this unknown enemy is stalking them in the jungle and destroying or dispatching them in pretty gory ways, and they don't know what they're up against. And suddenly these big, tough 80s action men are completely out of their depth against something that they've never fought before. Then you get to the final act and it transitions again into a kind of primal survival story of the main character, just one man who's all that's left, pitted against this monster, having to use just primitive weapons because that's what he's been reduced to. But he's finally gotten the measure of his enemy by realizing how it hunts and how it sees him. And so he becomes the predator. He is stalking it through the jungle and wearing it down and taking away its weapons until they're just facing off against each other one-on-one. And I think that is a pretty smart thing that the screenplay manages to do. And the fact that it manages to make all of these transitions seem completely natural and just gradual so that you're almost not aware that it's doing it. I think that's pretty clever stuff. So I love this film. I think it's excellent.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, it's intelligently subversive, isn't it? Because
it is.
The whole point of the original action sequence is to build these guys up as the absolute epitome of their type, only then to undermine them by introducing the threat of the predator and showing that these ultra talented guys are just no match for this alien threat. And I was thinking, because of rewatching it earlier and having been watching utter crap recently, like the new Doctor Strange film. But I think the Hawkeye TV series does this most obviously as well, which is where modern films will just explain this to you just before the scene happens in dialogue. So in the Hawkeye TV series, there's explained in one episode that Kate Bishop, she's a master fencer and she's a fantastic shot and she's got a black belt in judo. And all this is explained to you in dialogue. So the next scene, when she demonstrates these skills, has some kind of setup. But Predator does the much more intelligent show not tell approach of actually showing us these guys in action first before then destroying them, without just explaining to us in the opening act, well, this is Arnold Schwarzenegger and he is this ultra super special awesome Secret Service agent guy who can kill anyone and everything. In dialogue. It's refreshing to see films that just show you and don't get bogged down in their
But
own
they also play on his on Arnie, because everybody at that moment in time knew Arnie is a tough guy in film, so didn't have to say anything. He just comes on, flexes muscles, has a gun. We know what's going to come next. You know what I mean? So
I think I'll say as well, like obviously Arnold was never known as an actor and never will be really, but I think the film gets a fairly decent performance out of him. McTieran kind of knew how to play to his strengths, and you know, when there's scenes that call for him to look like horrified and shocked by what he's seeing, like when they discover dead bodies of mutilated soldiers and stuff, he looks pretty convincing. I think he does an okay job. So this is probably one of the best sort of performances he gave in his at least this stage of his career.
They don't linger on him too long, though, do they?
No,
just
enough to give you that sense. And he essentially is playing a reasonable man put up against a completely unreasonable circumstance. You know, he's fighting an enemy that is just unlike anything he's faced before. Yeah. And so you see him and the other soldiers trying to combat it like they would a regular human soldier. They make intelligent decisions based on what they know, and it's only gradually that they learn that this is very different from anything they've been up against before. Yeah. And they adapt to it slowly, but obviously they take losses along the way.
Trev, anything to add?
Sorry. It's just a great all-round movie. I noticed on the opening scenes where they all start getting off the helicopters, if you look carefully, right, everything's a green backdrop, right, and it's sort of going dusky, and yet Arnie's wearing a really bright red shirt, so he's standing out right from the very beginning. It's just silly little things like that, you know, what make this fun a bit cheesy and fun in places, but you can tell Arnie's got a bit of a clause in his contract there. He obviously wants to stand out a bit more than everybody else, and he does that quite brilliantly. But you know, I did notice when I was like watching this film, Kevin Peter Hall actually appears in the film twice.
Was he a medic?
No,
he was the chopper pilot at the end, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, not only is he the Predator, he's the chopper pilot. What goes, what the... And then, you know, it cuts to the General. Yeah, so that was a nice little gig. He was actually in it twice.
He played Bigfoot, didn't he? In Harry and the Hensons.
Harry and the Hensons, yeah.
I take it you guys know the story behind the original Predator costume and who was playing it and so on, just the disasters that they had. Honestly,
Sorry,
I guess all of us are just so lucky that this film turned out the way it did, because it could have been an absolute farce.
That was Van Damme, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
In the red suit.
Looked like an ant, didn't they?
They wanted it to be agile and fast, and so that it could do all this crazy acrobatic stuff. So they got Van Damme in, and it just wasn't working. The suit was really cumbersome. He was complaining all the time. He didn't want to just be on screen as like a special effect, basically. And so they ditched him. And for quite a while, they were like, oh my God, what the hell do we do with this? Like, we don't have a monster, essentially. And I think it was Arnold whose idea it was to bring in Stan Winston and just, you know...
It was James Cameron that designed the actual face itself with the...
the mandibles.
It was, yeah. That was his suggestion.
Sorry. Yeah, but also the fact that they did keep the shots in with Claude Van Damme with the stupid suit, but they overlaid that effect, the visible effect, over it. So you know that bit where he pulls the guy into the first kill, when he pulls the guy into the bushes, that was shot with what's his name, but obviously they put the invisible effect in there to cover this stupid ant suit. I call it, because he looked like an ant, didn't he, with arms and legs.
I mean, it wasn't like when we've seen the test footage of it, it's like bright orange. Like that wasn't what it was meant to look like, but that was just how they did it so that it stand out against the jungle, so they could do the invisibility effect on it. But even when you see the concept art for it, it just looks like garbage. It doesn't look intimidating. It just looks stupid. And so the final design that they settled on is just fantastic.
It's called it was called Hunter, wasn't it? Before it was called Predator.
I think it was.
Yeah.
Of course, if they'd done it today, they would have probably kept Van Damme, but just inserted in the contract that he was allowed to take the helmet off in his first scene.
Yeah.
Helmet off, folks. Okay, so shall we get into the slides? I think 30 minutes seems a good place to start.
Yeah, come on, you do it now.
Okay, so there is a lot of slides, so we'll just pile through, and then where we feel like we need to stop, we'll discuss. Okay, so 20th Century Fox, or is that Disney?
Star Wars. Sorry.
That's terrifying that Disney now own the rights to Predator.
I know. Can you believe it?
Please, God, no.
They're doing a prequel, aren't they? Called Prey, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
Not going to be.
It's going to be a Native American thing, I believe.
I think that's out already on Netflix.
Not going to be watching it. Sorry.
Yeah.
I think that came in under the radar quite recently. So there we go. Big man himself. Predator. And,
I'll be honest, right? As cool as the spaceship looks, I could have done without it.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like it was necessary to show and tell the audience right away, yep, it's a fucking alien that they're up against. You know, and apparently this was only added like later in the production. It wasn't the original plan. I think you could have done without it.
The execs got a bit nervous, so they wanted to spell it out.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you did get the feeling of everything being spelt out on this film. But anyway.
Yeah, they get very nervous when it comes to huge films like this, especially if in those days that was a lot of money to spend in a film. So they do tests and stuff like that. And then some execs, watch the film and they think, their audience is not going to get that. We'll have to do this. And you know what I mean? So, you know what execs are like.
Every shot Blaine was in, first thing he does is spits out the backy. And I love it.
A little bit of trivia for you. See that guy that plays Billy? He was in 48 Hours, and his name was Billy in 48 Hours. So there you go. Yes, same name. Also,
apparently he was a bit of a nut job on set.
Yeah, but he was meant to be the star of the film. He was meant to be the star because in the script it was the lead was a Native American, and then they changed it obviously when Arnie joined. So yeah, he was meant to be the star. Apparently,
they had security guys for to keep his behavior in. Yeah,
he was pretty unpredictable on set apparently, and everyone else tried to avoid him.
Yeah, see that? I love that shot.
Yeah, it's beautiful,
fantastic, isn't it? Fantastic.
Good,
yeah, so good. There he is, the man. It's so fun.
It's like when he gets out the chopper and walks out, he walks like a Terminator, like his back's straight and just
But the thing is, though, it's so cool, though. You don't get stuff like this in films today, right? This would be considered corny, but it's just on the money. This with him, isn't it? Immediately when you see him, he's the hero. Arnie, do you know what I mean? I remember when I was a kid, I got pretty excited when he came out of the helicopter. I was thinking, yeah, he's going to kick ass. You know what I mean? So there you go. Yeah. Love those shots. Look at that.
Is that Paragazer? Billy?
Paragazer.
Billy still was a badass in the film.
Was.
I mean, yeah.
And in real life.
He, I don't know, man. Like, in terms of how he died, you could argue he sort of sacrificed himself unnecessarily, but...
Yeah, I thought
he did.
Like, wow.
He did.
He just gave up.
I thought he was being brave, but yeah. Unnecessarily.
He was always fatalistic throughout the whole film, like, we're all going to die. Like, thanks for that little morale boost, Billy.
Yeah.
So
this guy looks familiar. Who is this guy, this actor? He must be in a lot. I think he was in the 18 at one point.
R.G. Armstrong is the guy's name.
Oh, right.
He kind of looks like a guy who would play generals and colonels and stuff a lot.
Also, did you recognize it was a bit A-teamish, wasn't it? People actually getting blown to bits and falling
Yes.
across the camera like in the A-team.
Yeah, there was a lot of like, they must have been put on an air ramp or something to be thrown up into the air when a grenade blows up behind them, and it's all
Aidan
slow motion.
Lawrence in the chat. This is how men should be. It is, mate. It is.
I really liked a lot of the gratuitous gun firing as well. I thought that was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
There's a lot of gun porn in this movie.
Yes, it was amazing.
Okay, so as I said, I did the slides once and then thought, okay, let's do them with the subtitles because obviously we can see, because there's so many great lines in this. Simple dialogue, but it's just great. So, you're looking good, Dutch. Been a long time, General. Trev, do you want to do the line? It's been a long time.
It's been a long time, General.
Dear, oh dear.
Okay, so we're getting the basically what the mission is about.
The general looks terrified of Dutch.
Yeah, he does. He
Maybe
does.
he needs a dump.
Oh my!
Better get this briefing out of the way fast.
You'll have to hold on, Dutch. I need to go for a dump.
Okay.
Well, it doesn't help that the light's shining from the bottom onto his face, does
No.
it? Let's face it.
General,
so-
do you need the toilet? You need some fiber in your diet.
Oh dear.
Sorry, I'll shut up now.
Okay. So we're getting the basically what the film is about, what the mission.
Yeah, chopper shot down.
Yeah.
They need to go in and rescue the hostages.
Yeah, apparently they're straight off course. We're fairly certain they're in guerrilla hands.
See, Dutch knows something's up already.
Of course he
Why were
does.
they on the wrong side of the border?
Yeah.
Of course.
What do you need us for?
So I quite like this. This setup works kind of well as an example of its innovation, though, because obviously, we've had a huge number of jungle-based Cold War type films in the 80s. And all of them, largely speaking, focused on the Cold War aspect with the Russians as the bad guys and all the rest of that. This one is sort of based on the Operation Condor stuff, which is an interesting period in history. But it's innovative because it takes what is by then a well-established genre piece and then does marry it with the sort of the alien threat, the science fiction. And actually, this is not just another let's go find the Ruskies type film. It's more interesting than that. So it captures the conspiracy type feel, which is sort of prevalent in films of that era anyway, which I think is really good in the earlier setup, as well as not then lapsing back into cliche and the delivery of that conspiracy. So I like the setup for this. It's sort of understated, but it plays on a number of different things quite well.
Yeah, I mean, all of this stuff is like, take the Predator out of the equation, and you've got the setup for a decent enough 80s action film already.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Also, right, in the beginning, okay, right, so the director's pretty clever here. He shows you a small shot during the credits of Carl Weathers sitting at that table drinking before Arnie gets out of the helicopter. It kind of subconsciously puts in your mind that this man might not be trustworthy, if you know what I mean, which is quite good.
Yeah.
I thought that was quite good.
Burtonberger, Carl Weathers was fucking jacked in this movie. He was, man.
He was indeed.
When is he not jacked?
I mean, if you're going to be starring opposite Arnold, you're probably going to hit the gym pretty hard.
Yeah.
For the movie.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they didn't they? When on filming days, they were competing and getting up earlier and earlier each day to start working out earlier, up until the sort of like 3 a.m. and everyone was awake and trying to get bigger than the other guy.
So
apparently apparently he pulled a prank on them, and like he would work out at a different time from everyone else and pretend like he wasn't doing anything. And it's like, oh yeah, I'm just naturally big. Why do you guys have to work out all the time? And they were getting totally pissed off at him.
So the line is, "'Cause some damn fool accused you of being the best," and then he goes,
"Here it comes, the manliest handshake in all of cinema." Son of a bitch.
Even Donald Trump struggled to replicate this handshake. It's quite an impressive one.
That is fuel for a million memes right there.
That's crazy, isn't
it? Just take that in, boys and girls.
A little backlight there to light his muscle. Great.
It's like Arnold, even in his bodybuilding days, he was always known for his biceps. Like that was, I think, one of his biggest features, and so he always made sure to show it in every movie.
Yeah.
It's like, of course you're gonna.
Romeo, Romeo, Tango, November, Zulu, and now the most manly handshake in history. Dylan, you son of a bitch.
You got the Terminator and Apollo Creed shaking hands. I mean, what more could you ask for?
Jacob says drink. I think if you've got a drink.
Oh, that's a good point. Yes, drinking game.
Yeah.
I've run out. Oh, God. What classic lines here.
Yeah, can't be pushing too many pencils.
Brilliant.
This is the moment where I'm glad I took the time to do the slides twice to get the because they're
We
just
don't remember it anyway.
so fantastic. The lines are just brilliant.
Silly, but they're good.
Trev, what's
Hello.
it say on screen?
What is this fucking Thai business?
God almighty.
Trev, when you see a line you like, please
All right,
feel free
yeah.
to.
Well,
chip in
you
there.
told me off. You told me off during the week not to butt in. I even kept off the Iron Brew, especially.
Thank you, my friend. Taking one for the team.
All right then.
You'll be unconscious within half an hour if that's true.
Yes. Okay, so now we're getting all the kind of blowing the smoke up each other's ass a little bit, aren't we, with these lines? Kind of
Well,
like-
Dylan's obviously trying to butter him up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get on his good side. Yeah, I'm on your side, Dutch. Don't worry.
The thing is, though, this film was made because of a joke, wasn't it? So I've been told. Or so
It
I've
was the
read
Rocky
something.
joke, yeah?
It was the Rocky joke, yeah. It was the joke that was it Rocky when he goes to Russia? That one, and they were
Rocky
joking
IV.
that next film Rocky's going to take on an alien. So
Oh,
they were joking
yeah.
about that, and they took
All
that
right.
idea and made Predator. That's
Top
what they
trivia,
did.
everybody. Top trivia.
Yeah, so there you
There you
go.
go.
We're a rescue team, not assassins.
Your Arnold impression sounds like it's slightly a little fast. That's what it sounds like. The
It's
speed
slowed
is
down a
slightly
bit.
a little
Excited, you
fast.
see. He's excited.
We're a rescue team, not assassins.
If you look at Carl Weathers, he's looking to the general when he's saying,
Yeah, he is, yeah.
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 No,
And it's straight. It's a nice slick
Subtle.
way of just
Subtle.
getting that point across. That one, Arnold's not there to just
you
go
go.
in and kill people. Fine, they know that that's exactly what they're bringing him in for.
Yeah. So if you're paying attention, you know something's not quite right.
Yes.
That's stupid as Arnie's character to actually accept the job after witnessing something like this. It can't be. It could. He must have known there was something up.
Yeah.
Even
so,
there.
Dylan's basically saying what's happened. We're going to go in, get out in a day. We need the best. That's why you're here. Oops. Bear with me, my internet connection. Go.
Were they really? Where did they shoot this film? Does anybody know?
Mexico.
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 Yeah.
So that is not. They didn't put baby oil on them. They actually are sweating buckets.
Sweating bullets. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
I think Arnold wrote about this in the years after. He's like, it was probably the worst shoot he ever did. Like, just the shooting conditions were so hot and uncomfortable. The terrain that they were filming in was just like really rough and uneven, and it was just really difficult to get anything done.
And didn't he need to get hypothermia in the clay scene as well?
The
when he has
clay
to
stuff,
jump in
yeah.
the water and then he has to put in
Yeah,
the clay.
it's
And
like
when it's night,
because it gets really cold at
anyway.
night time.
Yeah. Not the easiest place to film.
But then he had his Winnie Beggar to go back to after he'd finished shooting all that stuff. So.
Yeah.
So Dutch is going with them.
Really?
No way.
I think Dylan's
Wow.
going with them.
Dylan.
I'm afraid we all have our orders, Major.
Yeah, look at that look. Something's up. Something's definitely up.
So here we go.
Because that's all a nod to the fact that, virtually all American activity in South America at that time was CIA led. And you get that slight sense of betrayal that creeps into American media after Vietnam when actually you start to see the military as pawns of sinister politicians and corrupt CIA agents who force them to go into foreign countries and conduct illegal, illicit missions. Because this was year 3 of Iran-Contra, I think, 1987. So a lot of this is sort of playing up to very in-the-moment contextual things.
For Bishop Moore in the chat, Lord Cord's news round. Okay, so we're getting more kind of mission details. AWACS are there, and basically it's no backup.
And what's his name's trying to tell that stupid joke, isn't he?
Once we cross the border, we're on our own.
You know what I think about with this scene as well, like how it gives you a chance to get to know each member of the team a little bit. Like you see the dynamics, who's friends with who's like got a bit of a rivalry, all that stuff. Fair enough, but it kind of happens fairly organically. Whereas I feel if this was made now, you get one of those stupid like freeze frames on each person, and it would give you some like little montage of a backstory for who they were, with a voiceover telling you like what their special skills are and everything. Like everything would have to be splattered right on the screen, so you don't like have any effort to put in to get to know them.
Alternatively, they cast Daisy Ridley as the lead, and she does everything, and no one else has a character.
Well, there's that too, yeah.
Yeah, but you didn't have to know about them, did you? All you needed to know they were badasses, and that was it. And they were, this scene shows you that they were all badasses,
with a sense of humor.
Yeah, exactly. So just
there you go. I'd like a little pussy.
Yeah, that joke.
She said, "Me too."
Those glasses are huge.
Mine's as big as a house.
Glass is big as a house.
This is the part I love. I just think this is so fantastic. Get that stinking shit out of my face.
Doesn't he spit on what's his name's shoe?
He does.
Yeah.
We'll get into that.
There's some dialogue you wouldn't get nowadays.
By the power conferred upon me by my protected characteristics, I hereby give you all permission to use the F word. So go for it. Go ahead.
Fudge.
Slack-jawed faggots around here. Stuff will make it.
Have you ever heard the Predator redub of this?
No, what does he say?
He goes like, "This will make you a goddamn Sexosaurus Rex."
Who would like to see this scene?
Go on.
It's only 19 seconds long. It was a bit tricky to get stuff where we're not going to get copyrighted, but this one got through, so I'll play it.
Get that stinking shit out of my face.
Bunch of slap-jawed faggots around here. This stuff will make you a goddamn sexual tyrannosaurus. Just like me.
Yeah, strap this on your sore-ass plane.
Oh, good. You got to love Sonny Landham's laugh there. It's amazing.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's proper like. I love how Mac's just in the background dry shaving as well. It's like I don't need no shaving cream or anything. I'm just gonna do it dry. That badass.
But they all have a quality about them, don't they?
They do,
but they're all badasses, you can tell. Yeah.
I wish it would sort of catch on though, because I'd love to hear people in arguments start by saying, "Speaking as a slack-jawed faggot."
Oh no.
We were watching, Brown knows this, watching, Blue Thunder a couple of days ago, and there's loads of things in that film that you will not be allowed today, like zooming
Blue
into
Thunder,
a girl's
brilliant.
tits and looking at the girl, doing yoga naked? You know what I mean? You'll never get that today. Absolutely. Never get it.
Ramesses, Billy's laugh is great.
It is.
Romeo, Drinker is a goddamn
Textual Tyrannosaurus.
So we're kind of having a little bit of a backstory again. Kind of Dylan and Dutch. We took one in 72. So they're obviously been in
72.
action together. And then this is
I assume they were in Vietnam or something.
Yeah.
If it was 72.
Yeah, this is the bit I like. I loved it when I was. I went to see this in the cinema when it was out because I was a student at York College of Arts and Technology, and we had an Odeon on the way home, so it was a no-brainer.
Do you know what? We
Loved
should
it.
also give praise to Alan Silvestri for the music. The music actually carries this film very,
Definitely.
very well. Very, very well. And the music
I used
actually
to
picks it up.
when it's Call of Duty Modern Warfare, I think, came out when I was about 12, and so I had a couple of friends, and we used to play like 1-on-1, but we'd have three people playing. One person we'd nominate as the Predator, and we'd stick the Predator score on in the background and play the dark maps with the lights off and go around jump scaring each other. And it was a great fun because it's an amazing soundtrack. It plays so well.
It is. It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant, the soundtrack. And I've got it here somewhere, actually. It's up here somewhere.
This is where Blaine is spitting again.
Yeah, on his shoe.
He just looks so pleased with himself as well.
Yeah,
I love this. I love this. And then Dylan.
That's a bad habit you got there, or something like that.
Yeah, I guess his finger.
Yeah.
That's a
nasty
nasty
habit.
habit you got there.
You know the guy in the background? He reminds me of the guy in American Werewolf in London when he got slashed in his face.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Similar. Yeah. Mr. Smith, no super chats. Just noticed. Yes, we do this for the love of it, my friend. Moving on.
Well, we are doing super chat right now. We're all super and we're chatting. So there you go.
Oh, I like that. I'll go with Ian's response.
Okay. I will say, Miss Smith, there is a link if you're feeling generous, but anyway, moving on. Okay, so mission lights are on. Here we go. Sorry about my internet connection.
It'll jump out the helicopter.
It will catch up
It's just
eventually.
It's simple but effective, isn't it? Because you've gone from this relatively again the character building scene. It's all quite sort of low key. It's relatively cheerful, and they've got the music playing, and you just know it's that the music stops, the lights go red, they're getting red. This is the bit where the shit starts, and it's a really simple and effective way of changing the mood. But it's a very effective way of changing the mood because it's such a contrast with what has immediately gone before. Sort of understated, but very useful.
Well, I think as well, it shows how these guys, like, once it's game time, they immediately become serious. Like, there's no more dicking around and bantering. It's like now they're just fully focused on the mission.
But it's that music from Alan. It's that it kind of sounds like drums, kind of African drums when something is actually going to be shown. Yeah, so it's quite cool.
Okay, so helicopter.
Look at Arnie. He's got the two hand grenades on two pockets. It's ridiculous.
It's the only way to do it, man.
Yeah.
So the pilot's been shot in the head, apparently. There you go.
Well, he's been shot in the head then.
Yeah. Yeah, looks more like a surveillance bird to me. So again, something's not quite right, is it?
No.
And then heat seeker. Yeah.
Who's that in the back? Is that Billy in the background?
It is,
yeah. He's their tracker.
Yeah, he's the token Native American tracker guy.
Another thing as well. In 48 Hours, he gets killed by holding up a knife. And in this film, he gets killed by holding up a knife. It's crazy.
But you know what? He went out his way, though, because he even cut it across his chest and went into like war mode or whatever. So
war mode.
Yeah, I mean,
Was it the Predator or Predators where they tried to mirror that scene with the Yakuza in the field full of
that was Predators,
Predator. Oh my god.
I mean, there's been some real low points in the Predator franchise, but that was probably one of them.
Why can't they replicate the success of this film, guys? Why do you think we've just never had the magic from this one?
Telling the same story again and again. It's like Alien. You can't keep telling the same. Oh, sorry, Terminator. You can't keep telling the same story all over and over again. It's the same story.
The magic was in the mystery of it as well. Like, for a good part of the movie, you didn't know what the hell they were up against. You didn't know what this thing was, and neither did they. But once you get past that, and you know every future movie, you know exactly what the Predator is. You know what it can do. You know how it operates, and you know basically what it wants. So you've lost that.
Yeah,
So-
it was the
so-
genius of Aliens, wasn't it? Because once you've got
I
rid
was
of the
gonna say
mystery
that,
part,
yeah.
you have to change the genre to keep the story fresh. You can't just
Yeah, I
do the
was
same
gonna
thing
say
again.
that.
And
Well, they
Aliens
tried.
did that.
They tried with the second one with Danny Glover. I'm too old for this shit. They tried with him, didn't they?
I
They put,
I tell you, man, I've got a bit of a soft spot for Predator 2. I think
I
it
kind
did.
of like it.
It,
Yeah,
it
I
did
think
the
a
best
few
it
people
could.
have, yeah.
You know, it moved it into a different location, different kind of setup, but it kept some of the core elements of it. And I think
Yeah,
it did a little bit to expand the lore of the Predators. Like it gave them new weapons and stuff, and a little bit more insight into their culture, but not telling you too much.
Yeah, but that they were responsible for Aliens versus Predators because they had the alien
Yeah.
skull in the background, didn't they? So,
I'll never forgive them for that.
nor would I.
Okay, so Billy is telling them what's happened with his tracker skills,
Yeah.
and there's always shots that keep going up into the trees, which
Yeah.
I've noticed. Keeps kind of looking up, you know.
But
That's what
especially
he's hiding.
Billy,
yeah,
especially Billy because he had that sixth sense, didn't he? He knew something was going on. He kept
Yeah, he
looking
could
up.
kind of like feel it or sense it, you know?
Yeah.
But it also makes it really claustrophobic, which is essential for any scene sort of like this. Everything is penned in. There's no openness about it. You know, anything could be hiding anywhere. And in a suspense film, you need that sense of claustrophobia.
MC in the chat loves Predator 2, one of my favourites.
Hey.
Yeah, I think everybody's got a soft spot really for Predator 2.
What year was that set in? 1994, and that was the future, apparently.
I think it was in 97.
It was,
something like that.
Was it
yeah,
97?
I think
yeah.
97. Yeah. I love the early 90s prediction of what the near future is going to look like, and it's just like old, you know, everything.
Yeah.
There's computers everywhere, but they're like really crappy old style ones, like big chunky things.
No
We'll be living on
mobile
the moon,
phones.
whilst at the same time, Windows XP is apparently a revolutionary thing.
Blade Runner, no mobile phones.
Yeah. It did predict LA being a crime-ridden shithole, though. So
It's got that spot on.
some things right.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a multi-universe. Maybe that was in another universe when I hadn't caught up with technology yet or something. I don't know. But, you know.
Okay, so they're kind of wondering why the guys got hauled away from the chopper that crashed.
And
Followed
that
by...
there was an American team sent in to
Yeah.
track them.
And this is where stuff starts to happen now, isn't it? So Billy's taking a drink.
Spilling it on his coat. You know what I mean? What's that all
He
about?
was drinking it at first, and then he heard something. Yep.
Yeah.
There you go. Joshua in the chat, one of Drinker's mods. Does Disney own the rights to Predator now? It does.
Yes.
Yeah,
So, goodbye.
magically.
No more Predator.
It's going to be a woman predator.
It'll be Predator.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Could you imagine a predator with boobs? Like,
Yeah.
Can you imagine the Rule 34 shit that would arise from that? That would be scary.
Disney chose
really
poorly,
good
didn't
stuff from Sam Winston in the next couple of shots, isn't
Yeah.
there?
they? Here we go. So, Billy's crawling up through the jungle.
there you go.
Yeah. Fantastic.
I've dated worse.
That's when you were drunk.
Yeah,
How is Tatiana?
looking better than that. That's for sure.
Okay, so the bodies are hanging. There's some vultures there, and Billy is cutting the jungle down.
Yeah.
Probably one of the most famous characters that we never actually see, Jim Hopper.
Mm.
So,
Yeah, you know what? Right, that kind of really did make my stomach turn when I saw that in the cinema.
Yeah.
yeah,
I was like, oh.
practical as well, practical effects.
I stopped eating my hot dogs at that moment in time. Right in the cinema, I put it down.
They look a bit like beef jerky, don't they?
They do.
Yeah.
Ian, do you eat beef jerky?
Sometimes. Beef jerky is nice.
When they cut
I
these
prefer
bodies
bacon
down,
jerky.
when they cut
Sorry, go ahead.
for bacon jerky, when they cut these bodies down,
Yeah.
it just feels, I don't know, it just feels real, doesn't it? The kind of the weight.
Well,
and how they
Stan
fought.
Winston is
just brilliant.
he
Just
takes
brilliant.
everything into accordance. When he's making something like this, he adds weight to it, because you can just put a latex thing that looks like a dead body, but it needs weight. So he put weights into them. That's why it looks so real when they cut them down. So
Yes.
you know, he's
Yeah, it's
expert
really
at what
good.
he does. Yeah.
Okay, so he's not looking too well, is he?
Holy Mother of
Mother
God. It's not God, but it's God. Americans always say that, don't they?
And there you go.
Oh, that's horrible. Ugh.
Fantastic practical effects.
Yeah.
Some intestines on the tag.
Gosh. Yeah.
Yep.
And he knew that man, didn't he?
Jim Hopper.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, one of the most famous soldiers we never really see. So.
No, we'll get a prequel of him one day. I'm sure Disney will roll it out. He'll get a whole series, in fact.
Yeah. Gonna be his daughter, not him.
Yeah, totally.
Jane Hopper.
Yeah, Jane Hopper.
So Hopper was a Green Beret out of Fort Bragg. And then again, we get what the hell were they doing here?
Mm.
And Dylan Lyon, obviously. The guerrillas skinned them.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy.
Yeah. Why did they skin them?
Who's that black guy again? What's his name? His real name?
Mac.
Bill Duke.
Bill Duke. He always reminds me of Commando when he has a fight with him in the hotel room.
Oh yeah,
yeah, man, that's so funny, that fight. Always.
It's when they break through a wall and there's like a couple shagging on the other side, like totally oblivious to the gunfire and everything that had been going off before that.
I forgot to ask you guys if you could kind of think about your favorite scene at some point, and then we'll kind of.
It's funny because Joel Silver's involved in this, and all the people that are in this film, barring a few, was either in a Joel Silver film or an Arnie film. Because Billy was in 48 Hours, and I think that was Joel Silver produced. I think 48 Hours was produced by him. I think, and Bill Duke was obviously in Commando. So they're all connected now.
Bill Duke is a director now.
He is. Yep, he is. He's a very good one.
Top trivia. Okay, so Billy doesn't know what's happened, really. Just strange.
Yeah, this is when he talks about there was a firefight.
Yeah, shooting in all directions. Again, just bear with me. My internet is not like
a bit sticky, is it?
It is. It is. Considering we got upgraded, but there you go. So it just doesn't make sense. What about the rest of Hopper's men?
So funny. Look at them. Like honestly, you wouldn't take those two people on, will you? In a dark alley. Look at them and beat the crap out of you just by looking at you.
Rennie, do you like Blaine's gun? Is it big enough for you?
I've seen bigger.
It's what you do with it that counts, though.
That's right.
Unfortunately, his big gun only shoots blanks, so it's.
Apparently, they had to slow the gun down, didn't they? Because I think they slowed it down by about 6 times.
Yeah, it's a modified one because they belong on the bottom of, is it a Huey attack helicopters?
Yeah,
and they're not really meant to be used by human beings, so they had to modify. They had to slow it down to save money on the blanks, and they also had to change, I think, where the bullets are ejected out of, so it doesn't hit him in the face.
The problem with them is that they need something like 2 truck batteries to operate, and those things weigh like 100 pounds each. So like you couldn't carry a gun like that around with you and use it on the battlefield anyway, no matter how strong you are.
Big Daddy General Electric minigun, 7.63 millimeter.
Wow, knows his guns.
It does. An MC buffering, yes, mate. Always awake.
How many times has that line been mentioned in the film? Payback time.
Yeah.
Or payback.
You know, it's funny that when we were talking about the panning shots of the jungle there and how it often goes up into the trees, there's other times when the camera will sometimes just zoom in slowly on an area of jungle, and like sometimes you'll catch a glimpse of the predator, like with that weird distorted effect that you get from it. Other times there's nothing there, but it's just creating the impression that you should be seeing something, and it's almost, I always find myself like looking all around the image just to see if I've somehow missed it. It's kind of an interesting little thing that they do.
I think this is where Dylan slips down the embankment, isn't it? I do believe.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and he says, "If yeah, what a threat." I do like Bill Duke in this film. He's pretty cool.
You're ghosting this motherfucker.
I'll bleed you real quiet and leave you here.
But he just came off. He came off Rocky 4, didn't he? Was it 4? Because he had to pump himself up for Rocky 4, didn't he? He probably just kept pumping himself up for this film as well, I guess. But yeah.
So now we're getting to the mission objective with the camp and the prisoners.
Yeah, he shoots that guy in the head, doesn't he?
Yes,
just shoots him in the head.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Kill one of the hostages, we move. Oops.
Tripwire.
Let the internet catch up. It's going backwards now, the internet.
Is it?
Yeah. StreamYards is not behaving. Okay, so they're kind of getting rid of all the booby traps.
Well, he almost got one, didn't he?
Yeah. Claymore has been deactivated.
Even this is a setup because, of course, much later on in the film, they have to have the skills to make their own booby traps. So this is a really sort of effective, plot-relevant way of showing that they have the skills with these things as well. So it's not incongruous when later on they go and create them.
Wait, Arnie, you mean? Arnie does a Home Alone at the end in the forest.
Yeah.
You're talking about that bit.
But it's not just that, but they also set up the perimeter around the camp much later as well, which is, when they get scared shitless of a boar.
Also, did I miss something, guys? You know the bit
Possibly.
where Arnie says to Carl Weathers, he says, it's a setup, But what was he after? Because he took some paper from the floor and shoved it in his shirt. Was he after documents or something? I don't think he was.
I don't think he was after anything specific there. It was just like Arnold did, like, kind of demonstrating. This is all you really wanted. It was like proof that there was going to be some major invasion staged from here. Like that's why you're here, and you wanted like you basically wanted like evidence of Russian involvement and all the kind of plans that they'd had for this invasion, and it's all here, I suppose.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah, there's some Russians and CIA involved, isn't there?
Yeah.
So on this slide somewhere there is one of the terrorists, or
I think
you're somewhere getting taken out, isn't he?
Yeah, I think you're left to surmise like the general setup was that the Russians had their own version of like the CIA here, like their own agents who were supplying these guerrillas with weapons and equipment, and they were going to use that to overthrow the government on whatever country this is and set up, like, I guess, a communist dictatorship.
In the chat, is that Mayor McCheese? Cookies and bacon.
Well, it's a good combination.
Fair enough.
It is, fair enough. Okay, so there's Duke whistling like a bird. And then wallop.
I love Arnold's approach in this. It's like you've got drop on everyone, you've got weapons, everything. Like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pick up a fucking truck and just like turn it loose.
Yeah, cut the belt, the alternator belt or the power belt.
Well, that's the thing, you see. They always had to have, in Arnie films, always had something that he actually lifts or shows his strength, don't they? And this is one of the...
because in Commando, he lifted the entire phone booth out the ground.
He did indeed. And also pushed a truck down the hill, didn't he, without the engine? Remember that bit scene as well?
Oh, yeah. He flipped the car over as well.
He did indeed. Yeah.
Now, what the hell is he doing?
Those glasses are huge on that guy, aren't they?
Yeah.
Mm.
This
See,
is
I've
what you pay
heard there's a bit of a theory to this, right?
Mm.
That each of these characters kind of represents a different sense. What's his name? Hawkins is like sight. Billy, they keep mentioning that his nose is bothering him, like that's his sixth sense. So it's like he's got the sense of smell. What's his name? The guy with the minigun, Blaine. He's the muscle. He's the big guy. And as each one of those gets killed, like it's taken more of Dutch's senses away. It's him losing more of his valuable assets that he can fight this predator with. I don't know if that's actually what they were going for.
They really are a team, aren't they? Proper team with different senses. Yeah.
I love that. What the fuck?
Oh!
Isn't there? Did I read somewhere that originally there wasn't even going to be a team, and the original version of the script that Arnie saw was basically just him, and then he said, "This isn't believable, so I want more people involved," and then that's why you had the creation of the team. Well, I read that earlier today, so maybe I think that's what he said.
Well, what I read was that in the original script, Billy was meant to be the hero, and they just created Dutch because Arnie said yes to the project. That's what I read, but I don't know if that's true either, because you don't know.
I would love Arnold to try and pass as a Native American.
So this is
I'm 100% Apache.
He passed as a Russian, didn't he? Remember?
I think that's fair enough. Yeah, I can see him do that.
Yeah.
That's a great film, is that? So the truck's coming down with the booby trap, the bomb.
Mm.
And this is where it's full on 18. The word.
What did we say earlier about this film having such
fantastic
lines of dialogue in this film? That's one of the top lines of dialogue. Really top dialoguing.
Is it the truck screaming because it just got blown up or what?
Yeah.
So this is where World War III begins, isn't it?
This bit's glorious, yeah.
It is, isn't it? And lots of A-team stuff in this.
Yeah.
Rennie,
I think my favorite part of the battle is when some guy, like, because they blow up the helicopter at one point, and some poor guy comes out staggering out on fire, and then like I think Dylan and Hawkins like turn around and shoot him as well.
Rennie, as a woman, is this good when it kicks off?
Absolutely. Now, I'm not your stereotypical woman that likes drama movies and stuff. I actually prefer action films. That's like my favorite genre. So I thoroughly enjoyed it and was really engrossed in it. And like I said, like all the scenes of just excessive like gunfire, I really enjoyed. So and things exploding. It's just that's my thing. I love it.
Everyone's shooting from the hip. Like nobody brings the gun up to their shoulder to actually aim. It's just like, fuck it, I can hit everything from the hip, no problem.
In the chat, Rick Tech, hello everyone. These guys are trying to kill us with nostalgia.
Is that an attack on us?
I think it's. I think he's enjoying the chat.
Yes.
Oh, I see.
This shot is, like you guys said, that of the two guys just falling towards the camera. That is straight out of the A-Team.
A-Team, yeah, it's very much A-Team-ish.
This sequence is fantastic, isn't it?
Yep.
Yes.
But he goes into the room and he just kills everybody, like, you know, like everybody's shooting at him, but they miss him.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I guess they figure if they fire enough bullets, they'll wind up hitting something or someone.
Yeah.
I was going to ask the panel, is this film a masterpiece? And then I had a look on the Internet Movie Database for the goofs and the plot holes. And I thought, okay, maybe not.
Yeah, but that still doesn't matter. It's still better than anything that comes out today.
Yeah.
No film's perfect.
Still a great film.
Yeah.
I mean, every film is going to have flaws.
That's right.
I mean, I'd be interested to see what the plot holes are, because I felt like it's a fairly simplistic story.
I think one of the plot holes was, why didn't they try and capture these guys to get the information instead of just completely leveling the encampment?
That's kind of explained, though, because they kill hostages and their job is to save hostages. So he says they've killed a hostage, we go in. And if there are no hostages left, then...
Yeah, and plus the team, the Dutch's team has got like 7 guys in it. This encampment must have like 100 men at least in it. There's no way they're going to be able to capture them.
I've been told off by the Time Prophet. Don't care. Story's good. Sorry, mate. Sorry.
It's quite a solid story. There's no
Yeah,
real
it is solid. It is
booming
solid.
out, plot hole anywhere. But
okay, we will pile through the action sequence.
Boom.
I just love it. It's all practical effects. It's great. There's no CGI explosions.
They actually had to create these explosions.
It's great because it's like it's all stuntmen having to do this stuff, and you look at them, it's like, damn, like they're getting thrown through the air. There's pyrotechnics going off everywhere. Like, this is dangerous stuff that they're doing, and it's impressive.
I particularly like this scene, and yes, it is impressive because Blaine, first thing he does is spits his backy out.
Yeah.
And then he just goes.
Yep, using a minigun to take on 2 guys, like it would cut them in half.
Yeah.
But remember, in those days, they couldn't put the muzzle flashes in via computer. They literally, those muzzle flashes are literally there when they're firing those guns.
Amazing.
Isn't that the saddest thing though nowadays that like they won't even use real guns or fire like dummy ammunition on set?
Yeah, well,
they won't even fire blanks. It has to be CGI'd.
Yeah.
It was creeping in at the time, though, because Arnie wasn't allowed to light his cigars when he was in helicopters, so they actually added the glow of the cigar in After Effects.
Oh, wow. Really? Wow. That's cool.
I didn't know that.
Here you go. Helicopter scene.
the poor guy. The poor guy. He was just like, I want to go now. Boom.
Yeah.
Time Prophet in the chats.
Alec Baldwin would beg to differ, yeah. Well, that's a lot of it's in response to that. Like, The Rock has said, like, any movie he's in future, like, they're just going to use plastic guns, and they'll just computer generate the rest of it.
It's so funny. I don't know if you noticed this shot. They have a shot of the helicopter's rotors going round, and it's the same shot from the beginning of the movie. And then they have this shot. That obviously you want to blow that thing up, so it's quite funny actually. So
I don't know if this counts as a plot hole, but obviously the setup from this point onwards is that they have to go through one specific area of jungle to get out of said jungle. If they hadn't blown up the helicopter, could they have flown out with it? Does that count as a flaw?
That definitely counts as a flaw.
However, there's a reason. I could offer you up an explanation in that they can't get air support to come in and pick them up because the guerrillas are armed with heat-seeking missiles.
Good point.
Shoot them down. So if they tried to escape, I presume the same thing would happen.
This is the 18-bit. Boom. That poor guy. You just made that guy's wife a widow.
Is it really, really over the top that it's brilliant?
That's what I'm saying. This is what the film was all about. It gave the audience what they wanted to see. You saw the trailer. You know what's going to happen. Well, kind of. You go to see it. You have a laugh, and you come out, and it's just glorious. But now, what do we get? Shit. I mean, so
stunning and brave.
Yeah.
This is one of my favourite scenes. The tree scene. I love this.
Yeah. Another 18 shot.
Just don't fuck about, do they?
No.
I love in this universe, like a hand grenade has got the power of like a small nuclear bomb going off.
Yeah.
But nobody cares. It's just full on entertainment.
Oh, it's great. Yeah.
So, welcome to the barbecue. Blaine.
Stick around with that bit.
They really make the most of this minigun, don't they? Like we've got the prop. We're gonna have plenty of scenes of him using it.
Yeah, some of the Internet Movie Database stuff says it's what they did with that minigun. You'd have to take so much ammunition, blah blah blah. It'd just be impossible. But you don't care, do you? So
it's a movie. It's a movie.
Yeah.
It's a silly movie.
And that is a proper flash, isn't it?
Muzzle flash, big muzzle flash.
the noise of it as well. Here we go. Here we go.
Stick around.
Stick around. It's so funny.
Oh,
That's silly.
secret comedy. Stick around.
Apparently, he made that up on the set. Apparently,
He did, yeah.
He loves his one-liners, does Arnie?
He does.
That guy there is Sven Thorson.
He is.
He's one of Arnie's mates, fellow bodybuilder.
From Denmark, I think.
Yep.
Been in plenty of films
and he got it.
Yeah. Knock, knock.
No. Oh God.
I would say good night, Andy Mouse.
Knock, knock. Who's the first actor to say that? Knock, knock. I think it was John Wayne.
He made that up, that one, didn't he?
He did, but
yeah,
John Wayne beat him to it in a film called Brannigan. There was a scene in the beginning where he kicks the door open with a gun and he says knock, knock. I think that's where it came from.
Did you notice in that scene, right? He was actually just like kind of over this table looking at some papers. There's like World War III going on outside. You're doing your paperwork. Oh, I gotta get these tax returns done.
And on other news, Outcast Creative, Mrs. has just told me the UK is in the lead in Eurovision.
What?
With 163 points.
That's ironic, since we're not even in Europe anymore.
I dread to think how bad we have to be to get 163 points.
Okay, right, let's... So there's a gun coming from behind.
Well, why didn't she just shoot him? She waited till he turned around.
She was going to hit him with it or something.
Because it would have been... Maybe she's not a murderer, but that would have been end of film.
Also, he smashes her in the face, and she looks remarkably unsmashed in the face when she wakes up.
Yeah, I think if Arnold pistol whips you, you're going to know about it. Like,
Your nose might have disappeared into the back of your skull.
Okay, so this is the scene where we get told what actually has gone on. So, kind of technically, this is the end of the first film, isn't it?
He's got a huge head, this fella, hasn't he?
I mean, now that you mention it.
So, obviously, Russian military advisors are there. Something pretty big was going to happen here. Oh, God, I love this.
No, that line.
Plug in like an Alabama tick.
That is a legendary line, isn't it?
Very silly, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
They must have been boiling doing this. I mean, look at all the clothes they're wearing. Jesus, you must have been sweating buckets when you're making this film.
And it's really humid and hot in Central America.
Will, do you want to read this line on the screen?
You're hit. You're bleeding, man. Ain't got time to bleed.
And then he goes, oh
okay.
Okay.
Got time to duck.
Yeah. Great scene.
It is a good scene. It's. I said all of this is fun. It's all fun. Now be problematic, I guess.
Rick Tech. So no one cares there was diversity on this movie.
Absolutely, no one.
Pretty
cares.
good diversity, I would say. Yeah.
It was, yeah.
Remember when we just did that in movies and we didn't really feel the need to make a big deal out of it? It was just there.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Perhaps they missed a trick. Okay, so Dylan, goddamn jackpot, got everything he wanted.
Yeah, Carl Weathers. Carl Weathers should have been the next Doctor Who. He would have been better, I reckon.
I'd take him over this other guy. So
yeah.
You set us up. It's all bullshit, all of it. Okay.
Got us in here to do your dirty work.
So we get the conversation about, well, he sold out, and so he obviously needed Schwarzenegger to come in and do the mission.
So you got Action Jackson to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it looks like Hopper was the guy they sent in first, and then Hopper got taken out, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, apologies for the StreamYards just skipping back. StreamYards, behave.
Move a little faster.
The thing is, you upload it to the server, so it's the server end that's not happy by the
I
sound of it.
see.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, so they've been dropped in the meat grinder. What happened to you, Dylan?
Well, he got killed by.
I woke.
I woke. I woke up. Yeah.
Nice.
God, I hate how wokeness infests everything.
It is
Yes.
even, yeah.
Who would have thought that Predator was a woke movie?
Yeah, I think the wokeness is probably affecting the slides. Come on, StreamYards, come on.
Arnie must have went to acting school or something or classes because he's good in hair, and even in Twins he's really quite funny and quite, you know, he's quite good
Oh
in
my
that
gosh.
as well. So
I
yeah,
haven't
he
seen
must
that
have.
in forever.
Haven't you?
Twins. Yeah.
I did a stream on Twins once. It was
It was
an
actually pretty
eye-opener.
funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think StreamYards is not having it. It's going backwards. Come on, guys, come on.
It's like no more. I
You've
guess
got
he
too
doesn't
many
like
pictures.
more than 350 slides, Brown.
Yeah.
It should work. It should work. I just don't think he's liking it because I tested all these before we came on the stream. Every single slide tested perfect.
This conversation's going on too long.
It is. Yeah.
God almighty. Seriously. Seriously.
It's like it's the most obstinate conversation ever. Like whatever Arnold says, he just keeps going, "You're an asset."
Sorry, guys.
I woke up.
Yeah, I remember that line. Yeah. Looks like he's crying there, doesn't it?
Kind of, yeah.
Cry and sweat.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We've moved. It's a new scene.
This, I think,
Jason-
this is a
It says
plot hole.
having trouble connecting. No shit.
We could
this a
just talk
plot?
about the movie if you want.
Yeah.
You know.
Do you want me to have a crack moving the slides? Because I think I can still do that.
Yeah, have a go. See if it's better at
Is
your end.
everyone currently on
Yeah.
the one that says Dylan?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So I'm going to move. We moved to a different slide now.
What I really want to do is cover that conversation between Dutch and Dylan a bit more.
I don't think we went in enough detail. So I'm
Is
gonna
he
move a
really an
couple.
asset?
I will move a couple on. Let me know if these are moving on your end, because on my
Well,
end,
they're
I'm-
moving because the
it
things.
just
Yeah, they're
moved.
moving. Yeah, moving.
Yeah,
a lot
yeah.
faster. Yeah.
Okay, I'll do slides for a
had
bit,
to
because it
toodle
might
off.
just be your internet that's just shit because you're in the north. So
I'm up north. Sorry, it's Grim up north, folks. Okay, so this is Duke, isn't it? He
Oh, I
goes,
love this scene.
Turn around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think
I've
he's
never
gonna-
understood why he got a fucking scorpion on his back.
Mm.
Oh.
oh,
In
they
the middle of
actually
all this.
did. They actually did at one point. I don't remember when it was they were filming, but there was a point where loads of scorpions invaded the set during filming, and I think
Oh,
snakes
right.
as well at some point.
Wow.
Which is sort of
Lord,
occupational
do you
hazard
wanna-
in that area.
Start advancing.
Yes.
Yup.
Mm. Stabs
There
that
it is.
scorpion. Yeah.
He has the turnaround line here, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Which the Predator remembers.
That's quite funny, right? You'd think that a production like this would have security. They will stop the snakes, and you know that if somebody would have went out there and saw the, you know, you got a location manager would have went out there, you know, got a fixer out there as well to fix things. But you're telling me that the place got invaded and they didn't have any, you know, something to stop it? No.
Well, how
I
can you?
mean, it's the middle of the jungle, I suppose. There's going to be wildlife everywhere. There's only so much you can do.
Yeah,
Uh,
and there may have
Lord, do you
been
wanna move 'em?
restrictions depending
Yeah.
on the property of what they could and couldn't do to the wildlife, so to speak.
Mm.
Okay, so this is the end of is this the end of Act 1 then? So we're going into Act 2.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So we get one more joke.
He starts laughing.
Ha ha.
And then you got the predator recorded him. And all that rubbish.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Because then doesn't he copy the laugh at the ending, the predator?
Yes.
When
He
he's
does,
doing
Does
yeah.
that, and
Such a
he
good
keeps
laugh.
doing the whole like anytime.
Yeah.
I think we've hit the end of this
We
slide
have.
group round, so
Okay,
you might want to,
so
if you want to try the other ones.
Here we go.
And look, they had diversity definitely because the predator was definitely a black guy. He had dreads. Come on,
Yeah.
let's establish that.
He's been on Earth long enough to start culturally appropriating stuff, so maybe that's what he's doing.
Okay, so the predator is up in the tree watching all this going on.
Yep.
And
Billy can sense something.
Spooked.
Yeah, always spooked.
I love Billy's gun. It's like when an assault rifle isn't enough, you need to just fucking weld a shotgun onto the bottom of it.
Irish not saying the laugh was spontaneous. Okay, let's see if these move on. See if my internet connection's stabilized a little bit. Okay, so trees again. Something's going on.
Yep, certainly is.
Yeah.
Playing back the recording.
Turn around.
Yeah.
What a cool way to show you the first glimpse of the predator. Just a big fucking claw hand.
Yeah.
Okay, so Act 2.
So they go through the Valley of Death.
Yep.
Lots of makes Cambodia looks like Kansas. Blaine's got some great lines in there.
That is a good line, like.
Yeah. Yeah. This is the girl trying to slow things down a little bit, isn't it?
Well, she tried to run, didn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But got stopped.
Maybe you'd put her on a leash, Agent Man. Oh.
Even the heat-seeking stuff is kind of well set up. That was the point of the scorpion on the hand, is that you see it die and you see the heat disappear, so the audience automatically knows then that this is how the predator's vision operates. And it's a really simple thing, but it just explains everything that happens thereafter, so you're not left thinking, well, how has he got this magic power from somewhere?
Well, visual, isn't it? It's a visual medium. A lot of filmmakers don't understand that today at all.
Billy's doing lots of looking up in trees.
Although I probably wouldn't want to be filming this out in the jungle. Scorpions? No, thanks.
Yeah, I'll pass.
Yeah, I'll pass.
What's got Billy so spooked? This is where the girl makes a run for it. She's got the log on standby.
It's very brave of them to actually shoot it out there. They could have just hired a studio and recreated it, but it's very brave of them to do it for real.
Yeah.
Yeah, location shots are always a pain in the arse, aren't they?
Yep.
Anybody thought their favourite scene yet, or have we not got to it yet?
I've told you my favourite scene. My favourite scene's the beginning when Dutch is in a helicopter with that big cigar. That's my favourite scene.
I mean, the big shootout that's coming up is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it's just like 30 seconds of pure gun porn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that scene.
That always makes me laugh when they do that. What are they shooting at? They can't see what they're shooting at, yet they're letting off all the rounds. Don't they need those rounds as they push forward?
The 80s guns don't need reloaded.
If they shoot enough in as many directions as they can, they're bound to hit something, right?
They hit the trees.
That's what I feel like the mentality was. Plus, it's really just awesome to see like all this macho-ness and I love it.
It does also feed back into the earlier scene, though, when they discover the dead team and they said they've been shooting all over the place, aiming at nothing. And then you realize that's exactly what these guys are now doing as well, which pretty much tells you this is the fate of the earlier team.
Yeah.
UK 247 points, massive lead.
Wow.
Why is everyone loving the UK?
Well, we
I
did
don't
send a lot
know.
of
Tough out.
guns to Ukraine. Apparently, that might be the thing.
Maybe.
That's the way to
Oh,
win
right, okay.
Eurovision is just arms manufacturing.
Yeah.
I like
Wow.
it.
Okay, so they're not convinced then, are they? They're just
Well, what's
sure, are they?
interesting, I don't know if you'll show this in your slides, is that if you skip back one,
Oh.
I don't know if you can.
You're
Yeah, when he says,
testing
I
the
get-
northern internet with that request.
Yeah. when Billy
Sorry.
says like, "Oh, I guess it's nothing major," like you just see him shoulder his weapon, like he has it up ahead of him, like he knows there's something there, and he's like absolutely taking no chances.
Yeah.
Anna is off,
Mm.
and this is where we kind of get to see the Predator in action now, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's good that they kept the Predator up, wrapped up until we actually see him.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's pretty good. It's like Jaws, I guess. You don't see the shark until you have to.
Almost exactly the same. I think the Predator gets about 8 minutes of screen time in this film, and Jaws
Yeah.
only has about that amount in Jaws as well, which is it's just a really effective way of doing suspense horror.
Same thing with Alien as well, isn't it? You
Yeah.
don't really get to see it properly till the ending.
Well, your mind's going to conjure up far worse things than what they can actually show you.
That's true.
So this is Hawkins about to.
Oh
bite the
gosh,
bullet,
yeah,
isn't
this is
it?
a great scene, right? Where all the blood splatters on her face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So I think the Predator's there.
Yeah.
That's when you get a feedback on your TV set.
Yeah. So the subtitle of the night. Ah.
Yeah, it's all the blood in her face.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's... He got a. What country did it get a R18 or something like
18.
that? I can't remember.
Yeah, 18 certificate.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Predator over the boot.
Drags him in.
I love the effect. That cloaking
Yeah.
effect where it's
Yeah.
just you don't get to see it really. It's just this weird distorted shape.
One of the first times I actually did that effect on screen, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty good for the
They-
time that it came out.
Didn't they
Yeah.
have to film all of those scenes twice, and one with the Predator but wearing red, so all in red because it distinguishes it from the
Yes.
green and the blue of the sky, and then they had to code the red out, and then they filmed it again but with a wider angle, so then when you superimpose one on top of the other you get the vague blurry outline of the Predator. It's a quite simple technique, I guess, but for the day it was really advanced, and also it's a really classic example of the imagination beating effects and technique beating effects as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is Poncho looking at what's left.
That's what's left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of
It's weird. You can't
Hawkins.
even really tell what it is. It's just like guts.
Yeah. It's like,
Entrails.
That reminds me of do you remember that bit in Jaws when Hendrix sees the girl on the beach and all the crabs are on it? You
Yeah.
can't tell what's happening there. You just see the hand, and that's it. It's the same thing here, I guess.
So Poncho goes to the major, and then Arnie goes, "Did you find Hawkins?" I can't tell.
yeah.
What in God's name? Body's gone.
Good, Arnie. Yeah.
So asking what happened, woman.
And she goes, "I don't know." That's what she says.
As a Scotsman.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. She says the jungle just came alive and took him.
Yeah. I really
Oh,
liked
there was a line,
that
wasn't
answer.
there? Did he say
that line.
lizard person? I
Yeah.
can't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that
Well, I
was
think
the
that
original
comes.
costume.
Yeah, that comes later.
Oh, does it?
Because she talks about how she sort of figured out the cloaking system, and she's like, yeah, it changes colors like the chameleon.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he's like, "You saying Blaine and Hawkins were killed by a fucking lizard?" Like, nah, it's like that's not the point she's trying to make, my friend.
So the mighty Jim Hopper is mentioned again,
Mm.
and old Painless is taken out. Blood on the leaves.
Not looking so good, is he?
No, he's not. He doesn't look happy.
Is that's Hawkins, isn't it?
I assume so. I mean, you can't tell that well. But...
Come
Do you know another bit
you
that freaked me
fuckers.
out? It's towards the ending when he pulls the spine out of Billy.
Oh, yeah,
Remember that scene?
gross.
Oh, that
Yeah.
freaked me
Yeah.
out, man.
Oh, that just really, yeah.
Yeah.
There was a
Come on
game
in,
of Predator where your
fuckers.
goal was to go around pulling the spines out of as many people as possible.
Sounds good.
Yeah, and my best friend at the time was a goth, and he really liked that because goths are weird.
Yeah.
Oh, Painless is waiting.
Bang, 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 bang.
And it looks like
Yeah, he probably should have shot that thing just to be on the safe side.
porcupine, is it? Porcupine, is it?
I don't know what it is.
No.
And then this was a bastard to get this frame of this thing hitting him.
It was I mean, he's got MTV T-shirt. I never noticed that.
Yeah.
Never noticed that before.
Product placement.
The way they get killed is fantastic, isn't it? Let's face it.
Yeah.
The way they get mullered, all of them, really, really great stuff.
That doesn't look good, does it?
No, he's not happy. You can tell.
Yeah, big
His
hole in his
MTV
chest now.
T-shirt. Yeah.
It's torn, it's ripped.
Mm.
And then Duke's
like, bollocks. I'm going home.
And there you go. Predator in that.
I love how the eyes glow. They didn't need to do that, but they just like, it'll freak people out. Of course we should do it.
Sergeant.
It's really cool.
And this is where the jungle gets cut down, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Motherfucker. It's running away somewhere. You can see the blood on the leaf.
Yeah. I love how he pauses to take his hat off before he starts using the minigun.
Yeah.
It's like, shit's getting real when he whips the cap off.
This is an iconic scene from the film.
So you notice Arnie's not wearing his shirt now. He's just down to his vest. Because he has to show those guns, doesn't he? Let's face it.
That's right. Welcome to the gun show.
Yeah. Of course, he ain't got any guns, so he's only got the one in his hand. That's it.
So
what are you
completely leveling the jungle?
Yeah, I know.
Run out of ammunition.
But he made Terminator 2 after this, didn't he? And he had a similar gun in that film, didn't he?
Melvin Deeply in the chat is not a sexual Tyrannosaurus now, is he? No.
No, he's not.
No. He's a Norwegian blue. So what happened? I saw it. And
look, that's horrible. Come on, let's face it, guys. Look at that. Well, you didn't see
I want to see more. You just didn't quite see it all.
Yeah.
No, you don't. But that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's probably a conscious decision.
Yeah.
It's a good thing.
I
like what happened.
That hole is big enough for him to have been penetrated by a sexual Tyrannosaurus.
Oh dear.
Yeah. Okay, so the wounds all fused, cauterized. What the hell could have done this to a man? Is the dialogue simplistic but spot on?
Yeah, the dialogue. It works for the film. The film's a macho action flick, and this is how they speak because this is a genre that you have to uphold the law of a genre, and that's what they're doing. They've done it so well.
You see more gore,
Yeah.
I think so. Anyway.
No, I agree.
No bodies. We hit nothing. So.
So. I love the way Dylan gets done. So fun.
Okay, so blood on the leaves. Internet connection again. Sorry.
I tell you, they really had a hard time shooting this film. I bet the actors that actually get killed, and it was their last day of the shoot, they're probably thanking God that it was the last day, and they're off. Poor old Arnie had to, suffer it right the way through, didn't he, Arnie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poor old Arnie.
Yeah, Jesse Ventura must have been like, so long, assholes.
yeah.
Going back to the hotel.
Okay, so they're setting up booby traps. So they're going to try and capture whatever it is. And Duke saying goodbye to his friend. Having a drink with him. Calling him goodbye, bro. Nice music as well for this bit.
The music's fantastic in this film. It really does really push that score to another level. It really does.
Yeah.
Okay. So, blood on the trouser.
Yes. If it bleeds, we can kill him.
Nice little transition that as well, but it shows the blood on her leg and then the blood on the Predator's leg.
Yeah. It's got green blood like Spock, isn't he?
Yeah, so he's wounded. Out comes the med kit.
Yeah. That's exactly what he's doing, doesn't he? Look at that.
He does. Yeah. Combat dressings, field dressings.
It's good this as well because it establishes that, it's not some invincible, unstoppable, force of nature. It's still, it can be killed.
Yeah.
If it bleeds, we can kill it.
But also it establishes that the blood is green. So if they didn't have this shot and it didn't have the green on that woman's thing, then the ending when the big tree trunk thing's on him, you would have known. Well, I guess you would have guessed it was blood.
And Arnie tracks it as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, there's the trail of blood. So again, that would be weird without this.
Drinker, you okay for 2 hours?
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably need to go in about 5 minutes or so.
Okay, because
you've busy evening
streaming most of the day, haven't you? So
yeah,
he's been drinking most of the day as well.
Yeah,
well, there's that too. Yeah, I'll have to catch up with you after a while.
So there's no extraction. They need to go to a drop-off point, pick-up point. Next contact tomorrow.
Yeah, I like that little call back there. Dutch is like, you're just trapped with us here, asshole.
I saw one of them camouflaged. Capped off 200 rounds. Minigun.
He fired a lot more than 200 rounds there.
Yeah. He did, yeah.
I was going to say.
Good old Duke.
Just going back to the bleeding scene, and also, but it feeds into this scene as well, and how massively important it is that what makes an effective villain is that the villain is sort of a master of the rules of the game, but everybody understands what the rules of the game are. So you know that if you can hit the thing, it will die. That's an established rule of the game. And it doesn't compare it to modern villains. And I think I've made this point in this critique of Doctor Strange that they're doing at the moment, is that they try to establish Wanda as the equivalent type villain, but has no codified rule set against which we can judge her, which makes her much less effective as a villain. This film sets up rules subtly but incredibly well and early on, so you know that the reason the Predator is scary is that he is a genius at the game, but he can be beaten if you become cleverer at the game than he is, and then you get the payoff at the final scene. It should be basic character construction, and it's astonishing that it isn't, but the fact that it isn't makes this film more remarkable.
Yeah.
Pyro Gazer says Kevin Peter Hall died at 35.
Yeah, didn't he die of AIDS?
Oh,
don't know.
I'm sure it was like he got like a blood transfusion that was infected and died really young. Yeah, it's really sad.
Okay, so they're asking the girl what happened, and she's basically just saying the jungle came alive.
Yeah. Yeah, because they think that she's full of shit or whatever, because they keep asking her. She's like, I'm telling you, this is what happened. And they're like, no, what happened? She's like, this is what happened.
And then this is Billy being the prophet of doom. There's nothing out there waiting for us. There's something out there, and it ain't no man. We're all gonna die. Drinker, being that you have to depart, favourite scene for you on this film?
I think, yeah, like I was saying earlier, it's probably that shootout scene there, where they all just like absolutely go ape shit for no reason, firing their guns into the jungle. It's just so over the top, brilliant. Love it.
And marks out of 10, what would you give this film?
Oh, it's a strong 9 for me.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Like I say, I just think it's fantastic. I'd happily rewatch this anytime. For all the times that I've seen it, still get loads of entertainment out of it. I just think it's a brilliantly paced, really well constructed movie. Great action, great cast, great cinematography, great villain. All of it, yeah, it just comes together into something that should never have succeeded, but it did. So, yeah.
I think a lot of people love this film. Happy memories. Are you streaming tomorrow evening on your channel?
I probably will be, because I need to do a super chat catch up from my last open bar, and it's just like I have not had a spare night to do it.
It's because you work too hard, mate.
Just there's stuff going on in real life, and it all kind of piles in, and this is like probably the first opportunity I'll have had to do it, so I don't want to leave those super chats hanging.
You've got a new book out at the moment, is that correct?
It's coming out in August, so it's not quite out yet, but it's available to pre-order, and it's called Dark Harvest, so you can get that on Amazon.
Oh, where'd you find the time, mate? Bloody hell.
Yeah, cocaine's a hell of a drug, what can I say?
Okay, so on behalf of the Channel Drinker, I really do thank you for taking the time coming on. It's been a pleasure. And do you want some good news before you depart? A bombshell.
Sure thing.
We won.
Oh my God.
UK has won Eurovision.
Wow.
Drinker to that chopper.
Yeah, come on, get to the chopper.
That's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
And on that bombshell. Drinker, thank you, my friend, and we'll see you soon, hopefully, yes?
Yeah, take care, mate.
Guys.
Great to meet you.
Appreciate you coming on, mate.
Have a good one.
Yep. See you later.
Okay, guys, so we will finish off without the big man himself. So
I'm just going to keep an eye on the viewer tab and just see it.
Yeah.
Two people are watching.
Yeah, I would just say before everybody departs, we kind of do this every Saturday. Obviously, there's so much shite in Hollywood at the moment. It's just the same garbage. So what we try and do is on a Saturday night review a classic movie where we just try and go to a happy place. So as I said, Saturday night around about 10:30 p.m. GMT, we kind of do this stuff. It's whatever we feel during the week will be the film for the weekend. So I will say Jode Elio has gone away, yes. So let's get to it. Let's try and put this puppy to bed. Okay, so Billy, we're all going to die. And again, the mighty Hopper is mentioned.
Again.
There's a prequel with Hopper, isn't there?
Well, there's no point. We know he dies. What's the point? What's the point?
It could be the journey up till he dies. Okay, so Duke is very, very upset with his brother died with Blaine.
Oh. You mean Mac? His name's Mac.
Sorry,
his
Mac.
real name's Bill Duke.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was like, wait, I'm getting
Same
confused.
animal. Sorry. Okay, so we're getting a story. Old platoon, 32 men chopped into meat, and we all walked out. Just you and me. Not a scratch. Not a fucking scratch. You know, whoever got you, he'll come back again, and when he does, I'm going to cut your name right into him.
This is also really, really good character creation, because what it's doing is it's establishing a very close-knit relationship between two characters who've not really been on screen together very long. But just in very simple lines of dialogue and in facial expressions, you can see that these two guys have been really close for a really long time. and it means a lot. The death means a lot as a result of that. And again, it's something that sounds so simple when you lay it out like that, but we just don't see that in modern film, and it works incredibly well.
It does. We've not literally just probably maybe 3-4 lines of dialogue, and you just know they are tight, as it were. And no accompanying novelization saying about the backstory or anything like we have modern day stuff.
That's because people don't know how to write these days. They really don't. So yeah.
Okay, so something has tripped one of the booby traps.
Yeah.
And what could it be?
And Matt goes like full savage on it and stabs the shit out of it.
See, again, this is a great scene.
Yeah.
Fuck.
It's so funny because it's like, it's just a pig.
It is.
He's like, oh.
I killed you, you fuck. I got you, motherfucker.
Like, dude.
It's a pig.
It does such a good job, though, of really showing the terror that they're in. You know, these hard nut military guys who are unfazed by everything, and they've been reduced to the point where they are scared shitless of a pig. So it's a really effective. It's funny, but it is also a really effective scene.
Well, I think he was just happy he got to stab whatever it was and didn't realize, that's not what I was trying to kill.
Jode Elio, he found this scene a bit of a bore. So I'll go away now.
I see what you did there.
Very good. Well done. Okay. So again, they're asking why Anna didn't run. Scared out of her fucking mind. Internet allowing. And while that was going on, Blaine's body's gone.
Like he came back for the body.
Yeah.
It's a prize, isn't it? It's a prize for him, isn't it? So
how could anybody get away through this and not be seen, without them knowing it?
Well, it's just kind of puts a whole different perspective, right? There are humans that hunt animals for sport, and in this movie, humans are being hunted for sport. Not so fun when you're the one being hunted.
But it's not that he has to find someone that's worthy of him. So that's what he's looking for, I guess. Everyone that he takes on, he's looking for someone to give him a challenge. So it's not merely just hunting a human. He needs a challenge. That's the whole point, isn't it? And he won't kill anyone that doesn't mean a threat to him at all. That's why he didn't kill the girl. So those are the rules, apparently.
Yeah, and I totally get that, but he actually collects shit as trophies too. You notice he had a skull collection and stuff.
Yeah, he did.
So I do think that it's fun for him to take out just random humans, but I do think that there's also a part of him that's like, why can't I find a worthy competitor? So I do think that is definitely part of it as well. But I do think that he's one of those, instead of it being a deer with antlers on the wall, it's like human skulls up in his little tree,
Maybe it's something that maybe he's like a teenager, the predator, and they have to go through this ritual before they can become manhood, and they chuck him on a planet, let him take on one of the strongest, then win, and then they collect him again and say, right, well done, you're a man now, or something.
He's going through puberty and he's just in a really bad mood.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Okay, so
this had a bad day, and you guys are going to suffer.
This is the moment.
Who hasn't ripped someone's skull from their body and tore their spine out in a bad puberty mood? I've done that a few times.
Yeah.
I cannot confirm or deny.
D. Coon in the he says, it's supposed to be a juvenile predator.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah,
they do build that out in the lore, don't they? So that they are designed to go around. They do try and find the
like rite of passage,
the strongest fighters in any planet they're on, and they beat them to prove themselves. I think that's how the character is supposed to be built out.
Yeah, they're kind of like Klingons.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the moment where all the tree scenes previously is the pennies dropped.
Mm.
Using the trees.
Using the trees, duh.
Yeah. Yeah. And then again, what did you see? Change colours like the chameleon. Using the jungle.
I mean, she said what she saw, at the beginning. It's just, I guess, because of the wording, they didn't understand what she was trying to convey.
Yeah. So Dylan's decided to make a stand, or nobody's leaving. And there you go.
Yeah.
They didn't win.
Didn't I say at this? I'm sure I said at the start that Ukraine would win. Someone said at the start that Ukraine would win.
The bookies had confirmed. They given up.
But this goes to show how corrupt this whole thing is. I mean, it's ridiculous. They won because of politics, and
Yeah, it's always been that way, and it's the most ineffective piece of sort of public policy making you can ever do. You cast your political opinions via fucking Eurovision. But it's just interesting. Ukraine wins because everyone feels sorry for them, and then UK comes second because we just gave them lots of tanks and guns. So apparently the Eurovision has literally become an arms fair. Hooray! I mean, I'm all in favour of arming the Ukrainians, but I kind of think maybe you should judge it on music and not on how many guns you can sell.
But also, we're not even part of Europe anymore. No. Why are we in the competition?
You say that. Israel is in the Eurovision Song Contest, and it's also part of Europe for the purposes of football, because for reasons of geopolitics, they can't be playing or being in the same competition as Arabs. So there's lots of...
Jode in the chat, Ukraine equals Arnie, UK Predator.
But also, a couple of years ago, the Americans had a song in Eurovision,
Australia.
didn't they? Was it Australia?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh wow! See, there you go. Rules are broken.
Yeah. So when the big man was killed, you must have wounded. It's blood on the leaves. And then we go.
That famous line.
Internet withstanding.
This is it's also an advertising slogan for Planned Parenthood.
Terrible.
Oh my!
You're gonna go to hell for that one.
Yeah, I'm not going for that one.
I mean, you might as well, go out on a bang.
Yeah, exactly.
Outcast Creative, second place.
That's not bad being second in Eurovision.
Considering we've been last for the past 15 years. So that's what we need to do in future. Sell arms or give arms away.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
Do you guys even have guns legally?
We got plastic ones, toys, not real ones.
BB guns, we have those as well. You can shoot potato pellets at people.
Yeah, that's about it.
Oh, that's a shame. We just had a gun show here a couple weeks ago.
Does your police have guns, right?
Oh,
your police have guns. Our police, we just use foul language, or we say
and
stop.
Batons, right?
Yeah, that's what we do. Yeah.
Okay, so these scenes are where they're setting all the booby traps to kill the predator.
Yeah, this is the Home Alone.
Well, this is
the first Home Alone. Oh, Jesus. Hilarious.
Yeah.
He never takes that cap off, does he?
No. Okay, so tripwise, every tree, 50 yards. This is the only way in.
And he cuts himself, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, what is it with people cutting themselves? I don't know.
I think they actually had, for that scene, they had to make a razor that could squirt blood on set, especially for that scene.
Oh, wow.
And then it just snaps off. Tough. So this is where we get the kind of backstory. So when I was little, we found a man. He looked like butchered. El Diablo, Cazador de Hombres. Yeah, the devil, killer of men, I think.
The devil itself.
Yeah.
What happened to Trev? Just noticed he's not here.
Yeah, I think Trev had some family stuff going on, so he had to pop off.
I see.
Well, I did predict at the beginning when he said he'd had no iron brew that he would be unconscious within half an hour, and half an hour later he disappears. So
yeah,
you did call it. You did call it.
I think it's a very kind of last man standing live stream.
It is indeed, and we're the last men standing.
It is.
It's like
It is,
Predator
so
in that way.
I will say, guys, if you're sticking with us, well done. Well done.
Yeah, but you
Rennie's
see,
an honorary man for this.
in Predator, the woman survives, so Rennie's going to survive. We're just all going to die. I got a feeling I'm Duke.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me. No.
Rennie will be the last man standing, yes.
Yeah.
So, again, she's saying they found them sometimes without their skin, and sometimes much worse.
Wow. What's worse than no skin?
El que hace trofeos de la hombres, the demon who makes trophies of men.
I was gonna say, weren't you taking like a Spanish course? You should speak it better than that. Come on now.
I can read Spanish, but I can't. I've had no conversational practice, so I can read it. So I need to kind of find somebody who can speak Spanish, so I can hone my skills, as it were.
When do you learn to read in English?
I can't. I can't. I'm just making this shit up as I go along.
You didn't like that joke. Look at that.
So, classic line. What are you going to try next? Cheese. Yeah. There you go. Rick Tech. Those who makes trophies on man.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So here we go. So again, classic scene here. He's going to.
That's a classic picture as well, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I think that's the cover, isn't it? The poster.
Yeah, I think the DVD or the VHS at the time they used that picture.
Melvin in the charts. The demon who makes trophies of men, women, and LBGQTXYZ. No favourites in this movie. Well said, mate. Yeah. Well said. So again, something there. Then shit. I think the Predator's blowing his way out the trap. Laser going on. There you go. Boom.
Loads of specs.
Hey, let's add a really weird primal scream too whenever he gets caught or whenever he's fighting to get out of it. I was just like, oh, that's an awful noise.
You know how we was talking about Disney owning Predator?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Oh, sorry, that moved just at the wrong moment. Predator is Mickey Mouse.
Probably.
It is.
They could remake it, but like it's set in the jungle, but all of the military people are just played by children.
There you go.
So
didn't they shoot like a rat or something? That could be like the mouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So subtitle of the night. Big tree comes down and Poncho's going to get twatted. There is the Predator there somewhere.
He's there. Can you see him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is where Dylan sees it.
Dylan.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Great costume. Got you, motherfucker. I got you. This is where Matt goes after him, isn't it?
Yeah.
Big mistake.
Yeah.
I'm going to cut your name into him.
And then this is kind of his, I suppose, his redemption.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a way, yeah.
The fact that a lot of good that it did him, didn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, maybe get even. Just hold on to that damn chopper. Poncho's been busted up. Pretty bad.
Yeah, friendly fire, so to speak.
Poor old Dylan. Poor old Dylan. Yeah. Got to give him a hand.
Romeo, gonna have me some fun. So beautifully in the chopper. So it's there somewhere. You can just about make him out. Then we've both got scores to settle.
Boom, boom.
Why did Mac look at that red light?
Ooh.
Because I wouldn't.
No.
Well,
but at the same time, it's like, what are you going to do? He's already got you.
Yeah.
So just blows his freaking head.
There you go.
To smithereens. Oh, that like shocked the shit out of me. I'm like, oh!
This is a goof in the movie because there's no head. It's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I probably just didn't want to show a bunch of gore or whatever.
Yeah, Rick Tech, why 3 dots?
I think so. 3 dots. Obviously, there are. I think there are 3 barrels on the Terminator's little parrot cannon on the shoulder.
Okay.
On Terminator, fucking hell, Predator's little.
I know. I was going to say, wait, what?
I keep getting confused. It's the Arnie influence. What can I say? But it's to mark it up because what they're doing is that they are playing on the iconography of hunting all the way through this film. So you have the laser sight, which is so. It's what you associate with snipers. It's what you associate with human hunters, and they needed to differentiate it slightly while still playing on that same theme. The entire sort of hunting iconography that's used throughout this film is really cleverly used, and again, it's subtle, and again, it's quite simple, but they use it very effectively. And I think that's probably the reason they put the 3 as opposed to the 1, because if it was just the 1, you'd think, well, we've seen that many times before. There's 3, so we know that it's a slightly more advanced thing than your classic sort of sniper
plus
rifle.
it also shows whenever he zooms up on it, it like kind of turns it into a triangle of like vision or whatever, which is kind of cool. So like three sights, 3 sides.
Yeah, Joe says triangulation because some of the graphics later, there's like 3 things coming together. So yeah, it must be triangulation. Yeah. Let's just give that one. There we go. So let's start again. So this is didn't kill you because you weren't armed. The girl's trying to, So,
which is an interesting one because, I mean, does that mean that if they all downed arms, that it would just leave them alone?
Yeah, that's my question.
No, because Arnie and the rest, they demonstrated they are of worth. In the game, of course, but she didn't really do anything. She never really shot anyone. She was just being dragged along with them. So
are you saying it thinks the woman is worthless?
No, I'm going to get crucified for that one.
Film.
In the chat, Rick Tech, spot on, mate. Smart people doing a film. We need them back.
Yeah,
I think.
Can you highlight
sorry, Rennie.
Josh's comment? I'm sorry.
I was just about to do it, yes. Do you want to read it, Rennie?
He said, Joshua Levesque in the chat says, has anyone been told to eat a bag of dicks yet? I heard that happens here.
Not yet.
Actually, it does quite often. It's just it didn't happen today yet.
No.
Trevor's gone.
No, you can still eat a bag of dicks.
Oh, I always do. I'm an old pro at it. So, considering Mac had his head blown off.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Indeed.
Just very good on the clever writers point. You don't. What you want with clever writers is you do not want writers who think that they are clever. That's the problem. We have so many films which are so self-obsessed with the intelligence of their own authors that they make cleverness sort of operate in juxtaposition to the point of the story. This film is clever in really subtle ways because it doesn't try to demonstrate and show off how clever it is. Yeah. It's just subtly and understatedly clever. And that's the kind of filmmaker and writer you need more of, not people who think they're really clever and want you to appreciate that.
I don't know. I think today's stuff is written by inexperienced people.
Also,
that think they're clever, basically. So that's the problem.
That's the problem. Time Profit, this is me. How much did you have to pay Renier to show up tonight?
Nothing.
Well, I
just,
think
yeah.
Renier
Free bag
gave
of
out
dicks.
some free bag of dicks. Yeah, that's what she gave out. So.
Brown promised to eat all the dicks.
Yeah.
As I said, I'm an old pro. So the Predator is going to take out Dylan. The eyes are glowing.
Yeah.
Do, 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 do.
I love this scene because you can see he's got his hand tucked into his trousers, his real hand.
Yeah.
Oh, very nice teeth.
Well, he's got some good gnashes there.
Yes.
Yeah.
You get the really deep analysis on this channel. We even go into people's mouths.
Yeah.
That can get a little
His tonsils were in really good nick as well.
Yeah. He drops the gun, but he's still firing it.
Yeah, because you can see the nerve impulses with the finger going, which is quite good.
Yeah. That scene made me laugh so hard, and I know that's messed up, but I just could not stop laughing my ass off with his finger still pulling the trigger while his arm is no longer attached to his body.
It took me about half a dozen attempts to get that shot.
Oh wow.
That's Stan Winston's fantastic makeup.
Yeah. Right, we're on the finishing stretch, boys and girls. So this is the Predator running towards Dylan.
That looks like some blurry trees.
Yeah.
Oh no, there he is.
There's the big spike coming out.
Mm-hmm.
I think I read as well, those were designed, it's kind of product placement. There was a guy who has a knife company and he wanted to get his own sort of merch out there.
Right.
So he designed these knives specifically for the film, but they were way too heavy, I think. So they ended up dropping them later on.
Yeah.
Rick Tech in the chat, they gave drinkers some bad whiskey. I think it was EFAP that set the groundwork there, mate. I think he's been streaming practically all day. So
what is EFAP?
Every frame and picture.
Every
is it?
frame of pause.
Oh, right.
Yes, every frame of pause.
What's
It's
that
basically
about?
it's based, so it's Mauler, Rags, Fringy, and then a cast of recurring characters that the drinker will go on a lot. They will do insanely in-depth scene-by-scene film discussions, which I think the longest one is about 24 hours.
Yeah, but I think that was the 100 show celebration or something.
Wow.
They did
but
a full 24 hours.
They'll frequently go 9 hours, and it's really brilliant. I love EFAP, so that's, if anyone is listening here who can get me on that, get me on that. Get me away from this stream.
I'm sorry.
Wow. But yeah, no,
I'm joking.
I like it too.
You've used me, haven't you?
I think what they do on there a lot also, the reason they pause it so much is so they don't get copyright claims or, anything for actually showing a scene. They just pause the frame.
What film were they talking about?
Pretty clever.
Doctor Strange tonight.
Doctor Strange.
Jacob Ironside has put a Predator redub in the chat if anybody wants to have a look at that. I suppose essentially we do the same as them, or they do the same as us, but obviously they just do the video, don't they? Whereas I
think they're copying a web series called Every Frame a Picture.
Yeah.
You ever heard of that one?
Yeah, it's one of the. I think an earlier EFAP meme is the way that people used to get it confused with that, but. The reason was because they were doing things before they had the name for the podcast, and they were pausing every frame, and so they were coming up with a name into episode 3, and because it was every frame of pause, they decided they would call it that. Plus, FAP is kind of entertaining, but no, it's a very similar kind of format, and that's why this show is such good fun to do, and theirs is such good fun to listen to.
Romeo was a fan. Just saying, Mr. Brown Alliance's banter is more fun and less nitpicky than EFAP. There's analysis and there's obsession. As I've said many times, I think the guys who come on here are some of the finest minds on YouTube. But that's just me. I'm biased. So
that is the thing, because you've got people like the Mega Geek here.
And you too, miss.
Rude.
guys and honorary guys. But no, but like, you're right, because you also have people on this channel like the Mega Geek who actually has direct experience directing
film
and
director.
making films, which is
Yeah.
something that for all EFAP is amazing. They don't necessarily have that kind of expertise on their program.
The thing is, though, you can go too deep into a film sometimes, and then you can see, then everything becomes a problem, or everything becomes a it's just everything becomes a problem, and you shouldn't really delve that deeply into a film, because at the end of the day, it's just a movie. Do you know what I mean? So anyway, you can only go so deep before everything falls apart. With every movie, in fact, with every movie.
Before everything goes tits up, yes, you are quite correct. Again,
it's the same one. Very well.
I did chuckle when I saw those. But as I said before, new viewers in the chat, we kind of, as I said, every Saturday we select a film. Could be anything: sci-fi, action film, comedy, drama. It's just whatever we feel we think we want to cover for that weekend. And about 10:30 p.m. GMT, 2 to 3 hours discussing a film, taking ourselves to a happy place, or away from all this shite that's around at the moment. So happy memories, etc., etc. So
and then on Sundays, you let us actually talk about all the current shit.
And then on Sundays we talk about the shite. Anyway, okay, so let's move on. Okay, let's see if we can get out of Dodge for 3 hours. I think if we can do 3 hours, we've done well. So okay, so
move along.
Nothing to see. And this is Billy giving up.
Every time you see a film in a jungle, they always seem to have a tree trunk that makes a bridge. Every film in the jungle, there's always one. Okay.
If I go to a jungle and I don't see one, I'm gonna get pissed.
Jode in the chat.
Sorry.
I was just gonna say, Jode in the chat. Wow, good to know. I much prefer commentary on a great film than a bad one.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Have we ever done bad films?
We did The Rise of Skywalker 2 weeks ago.
That was kind of a parody, that was a therapy session, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was very good fun.
I will say we've covered these Disney Star Wars films, but they're kind of a comedic therapy session. So check those out. They're really, really funny. Ruin Johnson,
I think that's
Roundhead himself.
Even when you cover bad films or bad sequels, you did the whole Book of Boba Fett stuff on this channel as well. And even when covering that, I think the advantage is that you can also make light of it. And, we all hate the damn thing, but we hate it because we also love what it's ruining. And that always seems to come out in these streams.
I just think the bigger channels, obviously that's their thing to kind of, tear things down and be what they do. But I think we just try and we just try to have a bit of fun, don't we?
Yeah.
I think that's a lot more fun for the audience as well as for
definitely.
those of us that are on the panel.
And we try not to shout at each other and argue and stuff. We just basically try to have a little bit of fun at the end of the week. So, anyway,
are you still planning on doing a weekly Obi-Wan series coverage?
Yes, there will be a Obi-Wank. Moving on. Okay, so I don't think Ian will be taking part in that.
No,
I will not be watching that.
No, I'm not going to be watching it.
Yeah, it's going to be more bait and switch on the Disney stuff, boys and girls. I think we're all expecting
you know what
that.
to expect. So if you think the show's going to be good, then I really do feel bad for anyone that does.
Okay. Right, let's move on. So Billy's knife. Billy's just given up and he's just going to, I don't know what he's going to do. Other than self-sacrifice, I suppose. So Poncho is trying to get Poncho out. He's busted up bad.
Yeah.
And Billy.
Come and get me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again.
Poor old Billy. Poor old Billy. Yeah.
It's the most recurring line of dialogue in this entire film.
I would say, just bear with me, me thing just moved right at the moment. Where are we? Rennie, you were saying? Go on, sorry.
One other recurring thing that I thought was kind of cool, even though it's kind of stupid after the fact, but they kept saying the word expendable and talking about how everybody was expendable. And I'm like, oh, I need to watch the Expendables franchise.
Yeah.
I'm like, that sounds good.
Jodie in the chat, I understand having to comment on poor movies and can be fun as hell. Yep. All the Disney Star Wars stuff. Just personally prefer, well, like this. We all do, mate. Happy place.
That's right.
Yeah.
And even if it is a really bad film as well, just making sure that you can also see the fun side in media criticism and not letting it really get to you. I think that's the Book of Boba Fett. When we were doing those, I think toward the end was getting to the point where everyone thought, "God, this is so unremittingly bad that we will want to stop." But even if you cover a bad film, as long as you have people on who can see the light side in that and also take the piss out of it and have fun with it, that's integral.
I mean,
Which you have a great panel of guests for.
The key is to connect with the audience, you know. I mean, even though when you watch something like Spider-Man No Way Home, if you go deep into it, the plot doesn't really, it just falls apart. But because it connects with you emotionally, that's why, you know, thousands and, you know, millions of people liked the film, and that's why it made $1 billion at the box office. So, yeah.
I will say to Mr. Smith, thank you for showing up this evening. Much appreciated. If the drinker likes this channel, let's hope for better things. Okay, so let's get back to the slides.
So with those shots where the laser, you can see the laser, that's all done via cartoon-ish, because in those days they never had the thing of computers, so that's all done via hand.
Is it?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah,
they would have scratched it on the negative.
Well, they wouldn't. Yeah, they wouldn't have done that, but they would have. But you can see the matte. You can see the matte line on the ears there. If that was done by computer, you wouldn't need a matte line. So you just go right behind the person because you've got loads of things to deal with that. But
I will just thank Irish Not Sane. Thank you, my friend.
Have a good day.
Right,
You could have just led with Irish and dropped the not sane, because that's kind of
very, very difficult to say. I was just, you know, thinking, how do you say that? So you're correct, Irish. Moving on. No, don't pick the gun up.
Poor guy. Look, they're friends.
Run! Oh, I love that.
Size of that muzzle flash.
I love that.
Yeah.
How good is that?
It's really good.
Fucking hell. Absolutely top draw. Arnie gets hit.
So all that is drawn by hand. That stuff. It's kind of animation.
Shrub Knuckles, it's coming, mate. Get to the chopper.
Oh.
He like screams it, man.
He does.
I don't remember that.
Get to the chopper.
No.
I'm like, holy crap.
Because everybody that does the impression, they don't do the scream, do they?
Yeah.
Just say,
well, you sit there and you wait for the iconic line, right? And then it happens. It's like, I don't remember it being like that.
Yeah.
Time Profit in the chats. I didn't come for the drinker. I came for Mr. Brown. Oh, thank you. I'm
Sounds hot.
In your mind.
Go Brown.
It's a periodically homoerotic stream. Who in 1987 could predict that this was the moment that gave birth to 10 million memes in the 2000s?
Yeah.
Exactly, right?
It's a big chopper. Okay.
That's what she said.
That was his favourite line, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Yes, he said in all of his films, not just this one.
All of his, get to the chopper. That's his favourite. I did put Mr. Schwarzenegger in the tweet advertising this today.
Oh,
I didn't invite him, but I put him in the tweet.
He probably won't even see it.
He probably doesn't even deal with that stuff. He's
one of
got
his
minions.
social media. Yeah.
It would be good to get him on there before his
it'd be
17th
amazing,
heart
wouldn't
attack takes him out.
Just a hero of mine.
Yeah.
Arnold Schwarzenegger,
He
hero.
achieved more than he's a kind of a miracle man. The stuff that man achieved in his life is amazing.
It's astonishing, yeah.
MC came on Mr. Brown last week.
Woo! Facial.
Right there.
We're at that stage of the night, folks.
Yeah. I think Rennie's been drinking too much.
Oh no, not today.
I think that was yesterday. One of the main reasons
that's
why Rennie comes on the stream is because she's funny. Sometimes.
Just to spaff
And
on
she knows
Arnie
her
very
shit,
quickly.
boys and girls.
She also knows her shit. Just to spaff on Arnie really quickly though, because this is a guy who came from, I think, was Austria behind the Iron Curtain when he left Austria and he went to the States. He didn't know the language. He had no real prospects. He just had a vague sense of what he wanted to achieve in life. And he met other people who, supported him through it. But this is not a guy who was born for success. This is a guy who worked for every single thing he did. Yeah. And, he's not the best actor, as this scene shows. He's not the best actor, but he worked so hard to get where he is, which is why it's quite poignant when you see him doing public messages to the people of Russia over the Ukraine thing, for example. He's a remarkable guy. You can disagree with him on lots of stuff. I don't think he was a particularly good governor of California. You can disagree with him, but you can't deny that this is a man who took the risk of leaving his home country, escaped penury and perdition, and went to the States and made a career for himself. And that's an admirable thing.
Yeah.
Shall we just put this out to the remaining people who are watching this? Is Arnold Schwarzenegger a hero of yours? Just simple question. Y for yes, N for no. Is a hero of mine. Just
after I found out that he slept with that really ugly maid, he went down a lot of
we've
stock
all
for
got
me.
We've all got our crosses to bear.
She looks like a bulldog.
Yes, but when you're married to Skeletor, anything is better.
But you wanna have sex with a bulldog? I mean,
It's better than Maria Shriver.
Rick Tech, negative. Mr.
Does she not get half his money?
Probably.
Plus
Legion
she's a Kennedy.
Steve, yes. Bijets, yes.
Well, you've got Rick Tech in the chat, which is all capitals no, and I'd like to hear why. But
I think he probably likes the film, but I think we all like the film, to be fair.
Yeah.
But anyway, okay. So he's going to Arnie's going deep diving into the ravine, and we're getting to the business end of it now, folks. So we'll see if we can get to 3 hours. Oops. So he's managed to escape the predator. He's going up on the embankment. Then the predator drops behind him. Rick Tech, I like the actor, but not a hero.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So this is where he gets covered in mud, which caused hypothermia while shooting.
But he's divorced his wife, isn't he?
Well, I think she divorced him. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
That was that the Kennedy?
Yeah,
woman?
Maria Shriver's a Kennedy, so he screwed himself on that one.
Yeah. Oh well. Oh dear, stiff cock, no conscience, blah blah blah.
Woof.
One.
So who's he with now then? Is he with anyone now?
The cleaner, probably.
Molly Maid or whatever her name is.
What's her name? Molly Maid. Oh yes. Oh my God. Yeah.
She was so ugly.
Yeah. Why?
Probably a good fuck. Okay.
I mean, I guess maybe if you put a bag over it.
Interesting.
Easy.
Sorry.
Apparently, he's been dating a physical therapist named Heather Milligan, according to Google.
Oh, okay. That's nice of him.
Yeah.
MC in the chat loved Arnie in T2 1 and 2. Predator hated him as Mr. Freeze. I think,
yeah, Mr. Freeze was so
shite, was that, wasn't it?
Oh, it's a blonde girl I'm looking at now that he's dating. Some blonde girl.
Yeah.
Interesting.
We all know you love blondes, Ian.
Yeah.
Oh, who doesn't?
Brunettes.
Yeah, I guess.
Yes.
Romeo. Arnie's dad, an abusive, literal
Nazi.
He fought for them. Arnie grew up poor as fuck, did military service, came to US with nothing, and rose to great heights. A massive hero for me, and always will be. Just shows if you want to achieve something and you've got the belief, there's only one person stopping you, isn't there? Really?
Yeah, every person on this
there?
planet. That's what's stopping you.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, right. So, Predator's trying to find Arnie, but he's obviously covered in the mud. Can't see him. Although his eyes would give off heat. But there you go. That's another little plot hole.
Maybe he kept his eyelids shut while the Predator was using the heat-seeking.
Possibly.
I don't know.
Or maybe the tree stumps was covering his eyes from where he was standing.
Yeah,
something, I don't know.
Lots of really nice big explosions on this.
Yeah, but don't they set up that the Predator's targeting mechanism is broken by this point anyway, or does that happen later?
That happens later, I think.
That happens later.
Yeah. He literally gets rid of everything, doesn't he, when he realizes he hasn't got a weapon?
Yeah. And then this is for the people who didn't understand. You couldn't see me.
Yeah, that's the thing. You see, when I do an impersonation, it's he can't see me, but it's he couldn't see me. It's just like the other thing, and I can't quit you. He doesn't say that, does he? He says something else.
I wish I knew how to quit you.
I wish I knew how to quit you.
Okay, so this is where he's going to set up some traps with. I think he's got two flare things for the cordite. So he's going to set some traps up.
He does the Home Alone thing, doesn't he?
Yeah, very similar to kind of First Blood.
Oh yeah, that's a good.
Yeah, but he did it. He did it in the middle of the film, didn't he?
Yeah.
When the police was chasing him and stuff. So yeah.
So I think this is where he pulls this big log thing up into the air.
Yeah. Again, showing how strong he is. This is the bit where he gets his thing pulled out.
Poor Billy.
Poor old Billy.
I'm sorry, what? He gets his thing pulled out?
His spine pulled out of his body, which is horrible.
Trophy, yeah.
Oh, yes.
It's horrible. Yeah.
There you go. And Arnie bending things in firelight.
You know, a bit that made me laugh even when I watched the film is when he fires his bow and arrow, the arrow with the bomb on it. It doesn't shoot out fast. It just goes whoop like that, and then next thing you know, it's flying towards the Predator.
Yeah,
I mean, it's so front weighted. It just would not have flown. I've done archery because I'm vaguely posh. It just would not have worked at all ever. But you can kind of forgive it that because the rest of it plays so, especially in this sequence in the film, it is playing on the primal nature of hunting so much, as you see here, so much. This is entirely primal stuff.
This is primal.
Again, this is the understated cleverness of this film. It is taking established tropes, but with a relatively deep understanding of them and turning them into a modern production. And again, it's something you just don't get these days. It's so primal, but it's exploiting the primal for the purposes of science fiction, and it's really effective.
This is so primal. I think we've got an extra couple of A's in.
Yeah.
It's the longest yet.
You must really smell bad putting all that crap all over them.
Rick Tech, yes. Firefighters, people like that, they're proper heroes, yes.
Shame they don't get the same money as movie stars, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because they deserve it. They save
They
lives.
Do. Yeah, people who save lives definitely deserve all the plaudits, yes.
Well, I'm a capitalist, so I say fuck all those people.
Naughty, naughty.
One of my best friends is a firefighter, and I've told him that 100 times. I say, "You are a hero," and he's like,
Yes.
"No, I'm not." I'm like, "You are, because you save
Of course
lives."
they are. Yeah, of course they are.
Yeah, absolutely.
They
No.
risk their lives to save others. Yeah, it's
That's
brilliant.
right. Yeah.
Okay, so he sets his big pyre going.
Mm. Explosions everywhere.
Yeah, I love that.
And I think the predator's behind him somewhere.
It's quite interesting because when he takes on the predator and predator throws him up against a tree, you can see the size of the guy who's playing the predator and Arnie.
Big.
Yeah.
He was 7'2", I think.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's really cool that he wants to do like a man-to-man combat, so he even takes off all of his, armor and stuff, and like, all right, let's go, bitch.
Yeah.
Time Profit in the chat. Firefighters are very good pool players.
Well, I don't know. I'll have to ask Andre, my friend, if he's a good pool player. But it reminds me of Spy Love Me when the guy playing Jaws grabbed Roger Moore. Roger Moore's 7 foot something.
Yeah.
And you see in the film when Jaws grabs him, Roger Moore just looks like a child compared to him.
He
So
does.
how tall was Richard Keel? Bloody
I
hell.
think he was about 7'2", wasn't he?
He was
Was he?
7'2", yeah.
Wow.
Okay, so Predator on the tree. I think the stills from this is from the enhanced version Blu-ray.
He says, "Come on, kill me.
I think
Kill
they've
me."
just tidied all the effects up a little bit, but not too drastically.
Mm.
So he's in there somewhere. Then
That's the
boom.
bit where he fires the
Yeah.
thing off the bow and arrow. It's blown up.
Shrug Knuckles. I wonder if the Predator had a plan after this, or he was just going to call the ship. I don't think the ship was coming back, was it?
No, I don't know. To tell you the truth.
Because the girl said that for many years, the men,
Of course.
yeah.
Mhm.
So it'd been there for quite a while, hadn't it?
Yep.
Yeah,
So I
took
don't
the
think it was
beginning
going home.
as
Yeah, I don't think it was going home. Yeah.
Yeah, I took the beginning as happening like way before all this. Like this was
Yeah.
just like back in the day, and then we moved to present day.
Back in there.
Yeah.
Lots of kind of phosphor explosions on this. Very, very impressive.
Yeah.
So Predator's shooting willy-nilly at this moment.
Just like they did.
Yeah. Jungle. Look at that. Wow. Does look really good.
Lots of fireworks.
Rick Tech says ship would come back to get the body.
Maybe.
That does happen in later films, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I think?
It does, yeah.
MC Predator 2, the ship was parked up somewhere.
Maybe. You don't think he's going to sleep in the jungle, do you?
No.
He's probably got a bed in that ship.
Yeah.
All the mod cons, Netflix and all that.
Arnie has been injured.
Yeah.
Predator's been, his suit's gone. Malfunction. Looking at it.
Yeah, doesn't he crawl? Does he crawl to the trap thing?
Going
Doesn't
that
he?
tree thing, isn't it?
Come on, kill me.
Yeah. I think he throws a rock or something, doesn't he? This is the triangulation bit.
Yeah.
So more flares going up.
Oh no! Before that, he goes in the water and he loses all his stuff, doesn't he? And that's when he takes all his stuff off because he sees that he doesn't have any weapons on him. So he's like, okay, let's have a big fight then.
Melvin in the chat, ship was park and ride. Okay, so I think this is the triangulation thing, what we were talking about previously, earlier.
Because he keeps hitting him, doesn't he? When he finds out he hasn't got any weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's been injured. The glow sticks for blood. Bleed, bastard. And then this is where he's trying to get him through that trap where that huge log is above. So he's looking, sees the blood behind him.
It's right behind him, and it doesn't see him.
Can't see him.
Can't see me.
So he's gonna light his flare thing.
I just love how they like just freaking burn down the jungle the whole time, but it's still standing. You know what I mean?
But this is the bit where every action sequence here, it's a payoff to something that's been established earlier in the film. It's established that the Predator has heat-seeking vision, and Arnie knows that, so the flare blinds the Predator. It's established that the Predator has the shoulder cannon, but he can only target it in certain situations. So they play off of every single one of the things that the film has established over the previous hour and a bit about the Predator. And Arnie, this is testament to how clever Arnie as a soldier actually is, because he understands his enemy now. There's almost an equivalent understanding, if not a superior understanding on Arnie's part, of what the Predator is, how he operates, how he functions. Proof that you can beat the most technologically advanced adversary by a basic understanding of behavior and reliance on certain tropes and devices. And this is one of the subtle things that this film does really well. And the more you watch it, the more you think about it, the more you realize it's astonishing how well this film holds together compared to any film today, which can't even dream of having something which seems, when you describe it, like such common sense, but now has been lost entirely. But everything in this scene is a payoff to something that happened earlier, and that's really kind of admirable from a film.
Romeo, this sequence must have been an absolute bastard to film at night, finding the marks, lighting, etc.
Yeah, it's bloody freezing in the night as well over there.
Yes,
so poor Arnie had to be out on it.
I think being at night made it more like scary and more intense for the audience. So I think that's the purpose behind it. But I think, it must have been difficult, but it made for a really cool scene.
It does. And it establishes lighting contrast much more effectively. Like all the explosions, all the sparks and everything just looks so... It's like why most rock bands will play gigs at night, because your pyrotechnics just look so much better when it's dark.
Oh, yeah.
The problem is that you've got to... when you do scenes like that in film, you've got to have a huge light to light the forest or wherever you're shooting, because in real life there would not be any light. You'll be in pitch black. You'll be just wandering around pitch black. But and also it's got smoke in the background as well, so they must have laid that thick. I don't know how many nights they used to shoot this, but I reckon it took a long time to shoot.
This is the face-to-face scene, isn't it now?
Yeah, he pushes up against the tree, and he turns his face left to right to see if he's got anything.
Yeah,
when he realizes that he's got no weapons, so it's not fair for him to kill him, because he's a sporting man or sporting thing.
So this is where all the equipment's coming off. This is where the Predator's taking his gear off.
Yeah. And there's another famous line.
Yes.
There you go. You're one ugly motherfucker. Great alien design.
Yeah.
That's great.
We got Jim Cameron to thank for that face design there.
Yeah.
And didn't the guy who did the Predator's vocalization, he wasn't originally shown the Predator's design when he was trying to come up with ideas, and then eventually they relented and showed him, and he said, well, the Predator's face kind of looks like a hermit crab when it's dying. And if you turn them over, they sort of gurgle, and that's where he got the vocalization effect from. And you can kind of see why when you look at the vagina face when it opens up. It does look kind of crab-like. So
it does, yeah.
Bridget Moore in the chat, face-to-face scene would have them kissing if it was filmed today. And for Disney, yes.
Yeah.
Jode, clicking mandibles, friggin' love it. Just fucking great, mate. So these next few slides is where the Predators just basically brain the shit out of Arnie, isn't it?
Yeah.
smacking him one, and yet he doesn't have a broken jaw or a bruise, or a black eye or anything. Arnie's tough as shit.
So,
That's right.
yeah, this is from the POV of the Predator. Yeah, brain the shit out of him, and there you go, blood coming out of his mouth. Yeah.
Bit of blood. You would have knocked all his teeth out if he gave him that hit.
Yeah.
It was Arnie, though, isn't it? He's a tough motherfucker. I would imagine if you were in the cinema now, tripping on acid, you'd be just loving this bit.
Well, it wouldn't make any difference. The rest of the film would look like that anyway, so it wouldn't make any difference whatsoever.
I don't know. I wouldn't want to be tripping on acid when I saw the Predator's face reveal, because that would be a scary trip.
Yeah. Okay. So he's going down the kind of the passageway, as it were, where the spikes are, and the big tree log thing is waiting.
And then he gets bitten by a poisonous snake and dies 15 minutes later. There you go.
Come on.
Kill me.
Kill me. I'm here. Kill me.
I'm here. Kill me.
Romeo. I thought Predator turned Arnie's head to measure it so it would fit Winnie's trophy cabinet.
That's believable, yeah.
And got 100 upvotes. Wow, I think that's the most I've ever had.
Congratulations.
Yay.
Well, have you done what?
100 likes.
Yeah.
100 likes?
Yeah. So
okay.
Cool. YouTube may start recommending it. Moving on.
Is that what happens when you get 100 likes?
I think the algorithm kind of starts noticing things.
Yeah, the algorithm is a capricious thing. It giveth and it taketh away, but 100 likes can't do any harm.
So I will thank everybody who pressed the thumbs up. Thank you, my friends.
Right, I'm going to do some dislikes now. Here we go. Click.
Dang.
Click.
So Arnie is looking at the big tree stump.
He certainly is.
He is.
Come on, gimme.
Kicks the peg.
The stick. Yeah.
Yep.
And he gets squished by the big stump.
And then it's coming down. You can hardly make it out, but you get the gist what's happening. And then he's sort of
It lets out a scream. Gets hit.
And goes, oh, shit. Squish.
And then
not so.
Why would you? If that happens, right? Why would you just sit there? You bloody get up, wouldn't you, and run, wouldn't you? You're like,
well,
he's there, run.
I'd be looking for my teeth that was somewhere on the floor. To be fair.
Yeah, I think I would get out just in case that didn't kill him and he's able to get up. But
and then, here we go.
So the question is, why didn't he kill him?
Or like cut his throat and just like
finish
him off?
Finish him off with the rock. Why?
Happy finish.
Is it playing on the mutual sort of hunting respect? So the Predator voluntarily sheds his armor out of the spirit of the hunt. And Arnie now is seeing that the Predator is beaten, and it would be dishonorable almost to smash him in the head with a rock. That would be my reading of it, but I'm not sure if that is established.
I think you're
screw that. He's killed all his team. He would have definitely smashed it in with a rock, wouldn't he?
I suppose it's kind of like a respect of an opposing soldier. Shug Knuckles is coming, mate. Don't worry. What the hell are you?
What the hell are you?
There we go.
Yeah. It's one, two.
Yeah.
Klingon writing, it looks like.
Yeah.
Lets out that ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
And then boom.
So creepy.
This is that The Kevin Peter Hall then?
That doesn't look like him. He's white. Kevin Peter Hall was black.
He was black. I think he's later in the scene. I think. Is that him? No, it's not him.
No, it's not him. No. He's red.
So obviously the Predator's booby trap went up. His self-detonation thing, his suicide thing, it went up. The chopper's coming in to get. It's like another plot hole was, how would the girl know where to go to the chopper?
I don't know. Maybe she just kept running and found it. Don't know, as the drinker would say.
And then I like the mushroom cloud again, placing this with a really definite, familiar context. The mushroom cloud being sort of the symbol of the nuke. A lot of the imagery in this and the archetypes it plays off of are sort of American universals, and it works for precisely that reason. You see the mushroom cloud, and that automatically tells you the extent of the damage that's been done, more so than any massive visual effects budget can do. All you really need is to show the mushroom cloud, and you automatically know what's happened.
But Arnie gets away
in the novel for the second one, Predator 2. They say that that character, Dutch, gets taken to hospital, and he's suffering from radiation burns. And then they go back in the room, and he's gone. He disappears, and you never see him again. That's what it says in the novel.
So they explain why. Did they say why he disappears?
No, they don't. They just said they went. The authorities went back into the room to question him, and he'd gone.
Oh, that's maddeningly intriguing. I want to know what happened to him.
Yeah, so do I. So there you go. But
Time Prophet. Arnie gets away, dies of cancer.
Oh, maybe.
Wow.
Wow. That's a hammer blow of a comment. Okay, so I think we're getting to the end now.
When I read it made me wonder. This ending makes me laugh so much, especially with Carl Weathers. Yeah. When he grabs his gun and he smiles. He's like so corny.
Okay. So we've got the last few slides with the stars. So just a sentence from each of you, and then we'll call it a night at 3 hours. So Rennie, thoughts on the film?
Underrated and great movie. I really, really enjoyed it. Just wish I hadn't waited so long to rewatch it.
And marks out of 10. I'll just say to everybody in the chat, marks out of 10, boys and girls.
I would give it a solid 8.
Okay. Lost?
Well, I know how semicolons work, so I can make my sentences go on for a long time. But I won't do that. I'm just going to say it. Well, as Rennie said, it's a criminally underrated film. It's so solidly put together. It's deceptively intelligent. And it plays on all the right themes. It's uncomplicated, but it does everything it does with a kind of skill that you do not see in modern filmmaking. And I would give it at least an 8. I think an 8 is the minimal. I'd give it.
Time Profits, 11 out of 10. Me, 9. I upmarked it from 8, by the way.
Actually, I'm going to say 9. I'm going to go for 9.
Yeah, it's a solid 9. Jacob, 9. Legion, 9. Ian, thoughts, and then a mark out of 10.
Again, I think it's criminal that they wouldn't say this film is again piece of art, and again, I mean, obviously in geekdom, this is a film to be celebrated.
It is,
but in so-called Hollywood and the rest of them, this film is just one of those films that made a crap load of money and a silly film at that. But I said, I'm beginning to learn now that these films are not silly. They are what we call pure cinema. And so therefore, I'm going to give it an 8. Yes, of course it is.
So 8 from you. Rick Tech, 9.5. We don't do halves, so we'll say 9, but 9.5 is a good match.
Can I quickly ask Mega Geek, what would make it a 9 for you? Why an 8?
Because I would never give anything a 10 or if it emotionally touches me, I would give it a 9. Like for instance, E.T. is my
Yes.
favorite film of all time. I've given 9 to, because it emotionally moved me and stuff. This moved me, but it didn't move me in a way where it affected me, if you know what I mean. But it was enjoyable, so it kind of drops down a bit to 8 or 7, if you know what I mean. So
Melvin says 10 out of 10 for its time. Today, 7.5. As I said, I gave it 8, but I've watched it twice and I upmarked it to 9. It's such a good film.
I think it's obviously an individual thing, isn't it, Lord? Because you're like, I'm a Lord. Because, you know, it depends on how it affects you personally, doesn't it? Each film is an individual film. And as I said, this film was very, very enjoyable. And obviously I remember it even though I saw it again. And, you know, as I said, no film is perfect. It doesn't matter what film you talk about. Nothing is perfect. So, but this is very entertaining, and I still remember it. So yeah,
definitely. I think you've swayed me back down to an 8 actually, because that emotional resonance point is an important one. So I'm going to go back down to 8.
No, it's okay. No, don't listen to him. He doesn't know what he's on about.
Brown's heart.
Bishopmore 10. Let's have a look before we go. Shrug Knuckles. It took me 20 years to figure out the Russians were up to no good in the jungle.
Well, they were up to no good in the jungle 50 years ago, so you're only 80 years too late.
Now in Ukraine, so there you go.
Let's see if there's any marks before we go. Romeo, 8 out of 10, but it's an action film, 10 out of 10. A rival for Die Hard. I think on 3 hours we shall take our leave. So I will say, chat, you've been fantastic. We are truly nothing without you guys. It would be just us boring farts talking movies on our own if you guys weren't here. So thank you for the interaction. Again, kind of apologies that the main man had to disappear. I think he'd had enough after about 5 or 6 hours of streaming. So genuinely thank you for taking the time, peeps. I will thank the guests. Mega Geek, thank you.
No worries, guys.
Rennie, great to have you on.
Oh yeah, thank you. Great to be on. Really missed hanging with you guys here from time to time. Just life has been really, really busy and crazy. So thank you. Always good to chat with you, Ian, and Lost Cord. I almost said Short. And Brown. So it's really good to be back with you guys. I really enjoyed watching this movie.
It is the Lord, yes. I will thank Trevor. He had to disappear because of family stuff. So thank you, Trevor. Thank you, Mr. Brown. You're a wanker. Okay, that's not a problem. And obviously thanking Will, the Critical Drinker. Truly honoured that he took.
Can I get soppy for 10 seconds and just say thank you to you, because having, you know, you've got the drinker here, you put all this together, and you've established a chat which is, you know, it's a fantastic community, and you've got a great panel of guests which I'm happy and lucky to be a part of. So congratulations to you, and thank you for you.
I just think I've probably, because I own 2 cats, I'm probably good at herding cats. That's probably my main quality. So guys in the chat, we are back tomorrow. We've had the fun stuff tonight. It's all the shite tomorrow, all the kind of Hollywood garbage and stuff, and
yay,
probably some Elon Musk news. So I think that is it. Tatty buys, everybody. You're wonderful. Take care. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Peace out.